always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back for week number 4 of the ECAC Top 8 Plays of the Week. Now, at this point, you're probably realizing two things. One, that's right, I'm going to be with you all season long as we jump through the best moments of every week. And number two, wow, Septilence really only wears one thing when he's not on the clock. And I can't even defend myself, it's a comfortable outfit. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into week number 4 and see what these players brought to the table to beat out their opponents and be victorious. Wake Forest was already up a game, there were 4 minutes left on the clock, and they just couldn't find that first point to take the lead and put them up 2-0 in the series. But in a final moment of success, Malone clears it from one coast to another and finds an open goal, giving Wake Forest the lead once again.
These Champ 3 and Champ 2 is doing. I mean, seriously, look at Malone making advantages for himself.
Wow.
And he will put Wake Forest on the map. This game number 5 could just go their way.
I just want to say Malone just said, I'm going to show you what a Champ 3 can do. All right, buddy?
On a control map in Overwatch, your team must capture 100% of a point to succeed. 99 just won't cut it. King Rock from Keene University was fully aware of that and didn't just find a Death Blossom. He found a full-blown Death Garden to keep his team alive.
Sound barrier to go away as well, especially now that you have your own. It's going to be a little bit more breathing room. Doesn't look like the one. Okay, there we are. Now it's coming up big. This Reaper has bloomed.
That was just gorgeous amount of patience coming.
GVSU Blue found themselves up by 5 rounds, and it's always better to turn that 5 into a 6. It's incredible, however, that this team doesn't always need all 5. It can come down to just one player and how much they can really GVS do.
An Illusion delivers with efficiency. 3 in a row. No time left, even if they had the chance at Orbital Strike out of the last.
This battle between Muskingum and St. Francis was insanely close. Only 3 players in a round, and there were 1 player left on both sides.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's gonna jump into it.
Corner judges go for 1, 2, yeah, he needs more. And
They're doing even more here.
You gotta touch the point. Mr. College walks it in.
Toy Boy is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out in front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running.
Hey brother, it's time for some esports! I'm Hell Monkey Man in the booth alongside Visionary One as we're kicking off the spring semester here with Esports U and a bit of Valorant tonight! Visionary, I need to know, are you excited? It's a Tuesday, we're rocking, we're rolling, we're getting back into some collegiate esports. It's been a hot minute, but we're back! Hey, we're here.
I'm happy to be back. First of all, Monkey Man, always great working with the best beard in esports, and I am definitely excited for some college Valorant today, of course, in between Bryant University and Wake Forest University. So one team we don't know a lot about, one team that, you know, we got some information on, of course, from last season, but they dropped in the first round of the playoffs to the eventual winners, of course, which was Fisher Esports. So not really surprised losing to Fisher in the first round. It's kind of an unfortunate matchup. Definitely excited to see what they're going to be bringing to the table today.
Yeah, it's one of those, you know, who didn't lose to Fisher, so not a big deal. You face off against the eventual champion, and you got to feel good. Okay, cool, all right. Hopefully we get a little bit better of a seed. That means that our regular season has to be even better. But we have a change up when it comes to the overall dynamic of how some of these divisions are working out. So different opponent, different makeup. We got the Demon Deacons versus the Bulldogs. That's Wake Forest and Bryant. And of course, we've got the map. We got the map bans. We got to see exactly what these guys wanted to play on. Even though the competitive pool has changed, our college guys just have not, have they? It's more of the same.
Yeah, the competitive maps have changed in college. continues to not surprise me with map picks and bans. A little disappointed that we're seeing Ascent, Icebox, and Haven today, but it can't say that I'm not surprised. You spend a whole entire season in the fall basically only playing those 3 maps. You're probably going to continue to pick them because they're the ones you've worked the most strat time on. They're the ones you've done everything with. I would like to see maybe the teams that aren't favored maybe try to bring out a split, maybe try to bring out a Lotus just to try to shake up the meta and try to get themselves a pocket pick so they at least can continue to get one map and, you know, kind of set that advantage for themselves that like, hey, we know we're going to a map 3, so let's see what we can pick and ban beforehand. Like if you're able to ban Ascent, I feel like you have a pretty good advantage, to be honest with you, Monkey Man.
Yeah, especially because everyone has all that practice time. But it's, you know, whenever you're a college, I guess, student as well as an athlete, then you have a lot of time to copy your own homework. And if you've done a lot of homework on one particular subject, then you want to be able to bring that to your overall thesis. So I think there's actually something about, like, you can't do that if you've published the work. It's like... You can't do that.
Good,
either way.
Good old college things, you know? Good old college things.
Good old college stuff. But these guys will. So we will be heading over to Ascent. It's going to be Wake Forest that's going to be on attack to start things off. This map defines how we work through the midpoints of maps. And of course, is going to be the big match that we start off with tonight. It is a best of 3. And I'm just ready for these guys to get out there and start showcasing and maybe change of initiators. We've seen a lot of Killjoy that really has been dominating this map. And, you know, the patch changes that happened previous semester will reciprocal over to today. I wonder if anyone's getting any more comfortable with any more chamber play as of late. I don't think that we're going to see that this first map.
No, he remains one of the lowest picked agents for a reason, and it's literally just because the trademark range has been nerfed into oblivion. He's not really useful for watching any flank presence anymore, and so you kind of lose your mobility, you lose your ability to hold down those angles with chamber, and it just leads to kind of what we see now, which is the Jet and KJ meta. Once again, can't really say I'm surprised. Can't say I'm surprised to see Omen here either. And I really like the Omen pick, especially on attack, just for the sheer fact, Monkey Man, that you have the Paranoia and 2 smokes and light shields if you opt for the classic in the first round. I think that's very strong, both on defense for retake and offense, just to be able to get onto a site. And with that change, I really like Omen on this map because it just opens up from the very first round a little bit more of that counterplay.
So I have gotten, well, because I love Omen himself and love to play on him as my kind of main controller buddy. But when it comes down to it, I've seen a lot of good work recent when it comes to Astra. We won't see Astra here on map number 1. Ascent calls for, well, some mirror play. Same agents, same day, different teams, but that's how it's going to stay as we go here into round number 1 momentarily. And it's been all about kind of execution and rotating whoever controls out from archway and then up into catwalk and exterior there from mid fountain is going to be able to kind of dictate presence of moving between both sides. And I've seen teams kind of wait to execute. It'd be a timeliness like, hey, when that says 40 seconds, we bomb, we rush, we go forward. Or, you know, it could just be down to who's able to kind of work off default and get those individual kills. But we look at map number 1, it's pretty much going to be that. I've loved Killjoy, I guess, kind of exclusively here for controlling these entry points. It's so tough to be able to get past her, but when you do, it's nearly just a free side.
It really isn't, and most of the time it's because that Killjoy is typically isolated just because our util is so good at holding off positions, right? And I do have to say as well that you have to look at teams like Optic that were able to come in, and they were actually running Jet and Killjoy on Ascent before Chamber was out of the meta. So this obviously has merit here. I definitely love seeing the picks. The mirror comps don't really surprise me as well. But the thing that we've seen most of the time in college Valorant, Monkey Man, and the thing I really want to highlight is the teams that have been decisive in attack have typically been the teams that end up winning matches, right? So as we see this kind of default, this little 4-1 kind of setup right now with the slow push up A main, no presence mid whatsoever. They're just going to kind of go for the rush, and KJ hoping they can catch one in the back.
Yeah, there's also that bit of a decoy as you do have the sentry bot that's going to hang out and look to mid as they do have at least one just kind of stalled out in front of B, and maybe that's for a long lurk flank as well. They will head on to site A, though, as everyone will be repelled over into heaven, and the rotate does come through, and you do actually have a few of those gadgets down with the Killjoy on opposite side B, and that could start to become an issue, but no, this is a full 5v5 into this first pistol round.
I mean, it was just a rush plan. I mean, I like the idea to go ahead and back off, play your util advantage, but you can play your util advantage all you want, but if you don't keep an eye on the flank, you're going to have to pay for it. Sivos is going to get one. He's going to get one here as well. Jumper picks 2 in the door, and that's how we're going to start out the pistol round hot. There's that paranoia that I was talking about earlier and highlighting coming in, but aimbot not going to be able to get one. He actually trades it out. Now it's a 2v1. We're gonna look at this. Of course, that 0 point gonna come out, but aimbot finds a headshot, has the opportunity to potentially get the defuse here. Ducro's fake, it doesn't matter. Jumper's gonna get a 3K of their own and secure the round for Wake Forest. But that was a lot closer than I thought it should have been.
Yeah, I honestly thought they had the numbers game and we're going to be able to kind of steamroll with it. And that was what Tivas that was able to get at least one flank kill from distance. And that's what kind of opened up. They got first blood. So I thought that was going to be able to kind of swing in their favor more handedly. But they got caught from a couple in heaven. It was Jumper that really got the jump on the double inclusion coming in from Tree. So without Jumper being able to get a couple of those kills, I wonder if we can see that swing the other way. But the woulda, coulda, shoulda is in the rear view as we go to round 2.
Round 2 is going to bring us much the same. Of course, the anti-eco versus the eco round right here. We don't see the force up of stingers, so it's going to be a little bit, you can't really run it down on defense on Ascent. It's just asking you to get mowed down on mid as this nice little split here. Some nice mid control here as well, of course, not really anybody peeking out of that angle yet. We're going to see if they're going to push up mid, and they are. This is kind of a full map control play, knowing that you have the gun advantage.
Ooh, and a big swing by Conrad. They're going to have 2 out in here in Marketplace, and they are going to make the Tailwind go. And that's a couple of classics that do get dropped. The power diff is real, and Conrad has that Tailwind right back up. But their counterpart, their twinsy, Eve, is going to see if they can identify anyone. But from distance, Jumper made the, getting question mark ping play of getting that Vandal early here.
Yeah, they got the Vandal super early, and I mean, obviously, here comes that beautiful Sheriff with the one-tap potential, but this is just going to be tough sledding ahead right now. Shad has to stay alive here, try to find one. It's going to be a flawless 4 Wake Forest, of course, and honestly, it's just on the back of taking your gun advantage, and I really like the late lurk by Sova mid, right? Because if you're on pistols, they're going to have to collapse on some area. Luckily enough, they saw that the remaining players were mid. He just came, just out of A main, like, hey, I was sitting here anyway, might as well wrap around, give myself some free Vandal kills. His Jumper with that 3K at the very beginning of the round was able to buy full shields and the Vandal to start off round 2.
4-1 splits on these kinds of especially this map really can be impactful. I mean, we got to see just that first blood in round number 1 off Tivas and the Killjoy. I also am curious if we're going to see some mid positioning of our Killjoys throughout this particular map, because I've seen a lot of good sentry work from attackers side of mid. If you put them there, free kind of looky-loo for anyone that wants to rotate, maybe get aggressive from that defensive side. But this will be the buy-up as aimbot does in fact have their Phantom ready to go, and the looky-loo does identify at least a few trying to move up into A.
Oh my, and aimbot's just gonna get there's so much presence there. Conrad's gonna find 2 with the Spectre able to come through, but Penumbra's gonna at least get 1 in mid. It's gonna be a 3v2 here, and the fight, Conrad just taking it to everybody, gets the door closed on him. His teammate isolated on site, now a 2v2, but this is a very awkward position. You literally can't play together anymore unless you break the door.
Be able to win your individual duel. Conrad does in fact break the door, so it becomes a wall bang to take down Palmi. Conrad to split the difference. That could play against him. The Tailwind is up there as an escape route, but do you swing into this double peek? You know that there's at least one, so they see him. They have to just wait nearby. Oh, but they will be taken down. A nice quick flick. Doppelganger Syndrome ended with Eve being the better, and they'll be able to get their first defensive win.
And I mean, Bryant just does a good job of executing and kind of, getting another retake. The Killjoy overwhelmed again on A. They're not respecting that utility, knowing that there's really one directly on site. Luckily enough, there was one waiting near the door. They're able to go ahead and take that out, or take one of the players out who was aggressing with that 4-stack. And that kind of just busted everything down, right? Because, I mean, obviously Wake Forest on the gun disadvantage there doesn't really care about pushing in because they know they can buy up again. Whereas, BU gonna have a little bit more hurt economy here coming in to round number 4. So I like what I've seen out of both teams so far. A little bit expensive for BU, and that's really what you want to do on 3rd round if you're on that bonus.
Yeah, make it as economically disadvantageous, as I've been called a time or two in my life, as possible. So we will see full Vandals for the Demon Deacons, whereas Bryant is going to have a couple of Spectres with their Light Shield buy and a triplicate of, I believe, either Vandals or Phantoms, ARs in general. They're waiting out the 0-point knife because there's not been a lot of value. That's pretty much like the one-trick pony beginning for our KOs as they try to see, all right, are you sneaking up? Do I catch you in the giant no fun police bubble? But they've stayed back. And both are flexing. You know, I wish we could see them at the same time. Who's going to throw the knife first? And they're just trying to shut down a Killjoy that might be lurking a little bit too close.
I mean, really smart by Shed here to just kind of be patient, wait it out. I mean, obviously, very hard default going on right now. But look at the map position Killjoy has right now. Tyvos has gained so much map control, and nobody knows he's here. He knows the alarm bot is on the other side, I believe. There's just a standard setup that Killjoys like to cover mid with it. So it's going to be extremely difficult to push up beyond that unless this Killjoy finds a way to die. Or Conrad could just swing this, not care, and use the tailwind once again to break in and get an opening frag.
Conrad is a demon, just an absolute monster. Rock is going to be able to get at least one, but the trade comes almost immediately as a couple of ghosts do end up falling as both Omens are now out of the running. The plant will again occur here on A, and there's been a lot of very focused attack onto A. Not a lot has been kind of skipped over to B, except for previous when they just had to kind of run away from the pressure. You do have the lockdown that's going to get expended. Now they have to defend this because they know exactly where that default plant goes. They will find a couple. Jumper finds them as well, and C's will not succeed much as they take down Penumbras. And that'll be the third of these first four going over to Wake Forest.
I mean, that's a phenomenal patient round. And also, I kind of highlighted how Tyvos had so much space up mid. When he pushed up tree, he was actually one of the first ones to get picked off. So that flank was gone, right? And because of that, it kind of looked like it was going to swing back into Bryant's favor. Unfortunately, though, they weren't really able just to regain the site. A lot of good trades coming out from Wake Forest, able to kind of get that. And then just going together and fighting 3 people to go ahead and fight against, of course, the Killjoy lockdown. So like they know they have to protect that, and that's just one of those things as Eve is going to be in the danger zone right now. And Conrad with 2 knives. That is beautiful right there from the Blade Storm. That is how you get value out of your ultimate. Just come in guns blazing and find yourself some value.
Conrad is one of those unicorn duelists that you wish you could find all the time in ranked, and now a little bit of triple as ADS from the Stinger is able to hit him from distance. The wallbang does take out the opposite Killjoy, so now aimbot left alone in a 1v4. Defense already a bit busted, and they're having to play against at least a couple of knives. Does one more knife make it? I don't think they have it, and they're now being kind of squeezed in, sandwiched from both sides. Aimbot waiting very patiently, but they're also dealing with an updraft, and they eventually will take him down with that Stinger and a 3K, and they'll be able to upgrade. So a good job by the Demon Deacons to continuously push Bryant back.
And right now, I mean, it's just the Conrad show, right? The Conrad and Jumper right now combined have 17 kills and 4 deaths. That is pretty darn good out of your Initiator and your Duelist. I'm not going to lie to you. Numbers do not lie either, and Conrad is on one heck of a heater, and we see this all the time. When Jets are feeling themselves on Ascent, it's almost like a playground because you have so much space, either both on sites or in mid, to use that tailwind to be able to get aggressive, to take those dangerous peaks, and somehow find a way back. And now they're going to already know from that recon bolt that mid is essentially almost all the way open, with just, of course, the Omen covering kind of the backside. And I don't mind the defensive organization right now, but you've lost A so many times, and they haven't hit B, right? They've showed aggression towards B, but they actually haven't even hit that site at all yet. They just continue pounding A, and it's working. So, I mean, why try to break what isn't, I mean, why try to fix what isn't broken, essentially?
Yeah, they just keep hammering away. They're going to have the 0-point knife that will take him, but it's going to be Conrad. Guess who? Knock, knock. Who's there? It's the guy that's killing you. Shed is going to go down, and that's going to be Hunter's Fury to at least take out the defaults. The spike is picked up and was not, in fact, planted, but Rock is able to get some value off of the repeat by Tyvos. So it now becomes a 2v3. The defense is in a place of advantage, but the majority, if not any, or all, rather, they're right up in heaven. So the Paranoid goes out. No one is tagged, and that's a free look-in from distance. So now you got to hold it, but they have the Hunter's Fury to do so as well. But can you be able to hold that from hell at 1v3? Nope. Full drop.
Yeah, and I mean, this is smoked off. This is going to be very tough sledding ahead, of course. We're going to get the shock darts out, trying to get the kill, but you can't even kill somebody with 2 shock darts anymore, so that's going to be a little bit too little, too late. And of course, Bryant is going to come in and be able to get the win. The Bulldogs looking strong on that retake. And again, I think it just kind of comes down to the timing differences that we saw. Aimbot has been really great at kind of being able to pick off those flanks. He's done it multiple times. We're looking at this right now. Obviously, economy's still a little bit scuffed, for Bryant, but they're going to be able to pull it out. You know, a team's going to buy up, and we're going to be able to go ahead and get full rifles versus full rifles. So the utility's going to be there. Most of the shields are there, and you're coming in 2-4. You're feeling a little bit better about yourself, and here comes the B rush right as soon as this happens. They're like, hey, we finally lost A. Guess what we're doing?
It's because they're winning the ult economy. They got 4 out of the 5, and they're just going to push it in. They've got the no fun police, and the lockdown could be a wombo combo that they want to put together. The only thing not left or not there is the Blade Storm, and so they're going to push off of this lockdown and clear space, see if anyone's trying to stay around. Rock actually goes and stays with that from the shadows, and that's going to be a quick updraft, and I swear Conrad and all Jets just treat this map as if it doesn't have walls. They will be, in fact, found, and so they'll be able to get one quick kill, and side is theirs.
I mean, wasn't there room in the back of Boathouse to get in the corner and go ahead and not get hit by that lockdown as well? Like, were they trying to bait something out with it? Is my question. Obviously, the late work coming in from B main as well, but everybody's just going to be stacked up here. It's going to be an even trade. Aimbot finding another kill as that Nano Swarm almost tags Aimbot, somehow still alive, being flashed, being tagged. Everything is happening right now, but Shed somehow going to find 2 right there and activate the no fun police of their own. We're going to see what they're going to be able to pull off with this. Conrad gets 1. Looking for more value out of this. Has the opportunity. Gets the headshot on Shed. Still getting pinged. Can he get this one right here? The spike is still going off. They don't have a lot of time to defuse. The kill's going to have to happen. Everybody's switching over to classics, but there's no time. And although BU gets all of the eliminations, they also lose all of their guns and the round.
That really hurts. They will get a little bit of extra eco on the back end of that loss, but my goodness, Conrad continues with 14 and 5. You were talking about themselves and Jumper. They have now the amount of kills that was nearly in total from before, but it's 20 kills between themselves and the second, and it's 14 of them over to Conrad, who continues to just lay waste. I don't think I've seen Shed in that constant kind of duel that's going on, pressuring that KO from that jump of a Jet's tailwind, has yet to be able to get a kill on him. I would love to be able to see that in the timeline later, but Wake Forest gets on, executes, and it's behind the might, the spearhead of Conrad.
Yeah, and it's the no fun police popping again. We get the null command, getting rid of all of that utility. It's just going to be able to shut everything down. The sheriff ability right here. Rock's going to be able to find one. A little bit of a feisty duel right there. A lot of spray and pray, but one finally lands. And it is going to be a 4v5 coming back into this. Of course, right now, Bryant down on economy. We're going to see what they can bring with this retake. And you see the Killjoy lockdown coming out as well. And the Hunter's Fury is going to have to be burned just to be able to get that. But Conrad with the head tap just able to get that one almost immediately. The lockdown is destroyed, and Aimbot is able to find another with a stinger, make it 2. Jumper finds 2 of their own. It's absolute chaos right now, and Conrad is there to try to hold everything down. It's now a 2v1. It's going to be up to Shed to be able to get a kill, another kill, and the defuse, and look at the frenzy do work. I'm sorry, not the frenzy, the stinger, but we're going to see right here. There's the swing. There's the fact that we are out of time once again, and it's just too little too late right now for BU. They're getting on site. They're doing a phenomenal job of taking that space back and almost getting that retake settled. And Monkey Man, just at the final minutes, there's always somebody isolated who's playing off site that's just able to buy time. And it's been Jumper a lot of these times as well to just help delay that long enough to where the defuse can't happen.
Yeah, Jumpers is the most clutch, but lower than, I guess you would expect KD to, I guess, the likes of Conrad. I mean, they're 3.0 to the, I mean, nearly 4.0 of Conrad, but it's having someone that, after you've been able to create all that space, establish site, and then immediately think, okay, what's next? 3 steps ahead away from the retake. And, you know, Bryant, they're getting there. They're having everyone practice how to go to the buy menu, but they're not having a lot of eco to their advantage. So there's a lot of darkness in the way for these squads, as you do have the dark cover out in here in mid, and they're trying to create that space and be able to take over Pizza here soon over near Marketplace. They're gonna push through that archway, but look at this interesting. This is ETH that does not know that they have one all the way in A, but they know that there is this movement moving into mid.
Yeah, and Tyvos already kind of establishing that B presence right now, just forcing the Sova back to Boathouse is gonna be dangerous. But Rock right here actually has a huge opportunity. It just really depends on how long this dark cover stays up, and you can see the other players on the team are staring at him, and they're so suspicious of it, but they're not doing anything. Finally they spray through the smoke, and they're able to find him as the dark cover comes down. Shed's gonna have to do some work here. Luckily, not gonna get, I'm sorry, that was his teammate start, so he's definitely not gonna get spotted by that. He tries to sit here, but I mean, it's a wrap around the back as well. Aimbot peeks into 4 people, and that's just a disappointing way to die. And Conrad's going to rush up. Tyvos still has that positioning. There's one on Boathouse. Tyvos is going to pick him off, and my gosh, WVU going, I'm sorry, WFU going flawless right there. That's definitely massive, and Conrad just continues to do work.
A disappointing way to die. Put that on my gravestone. That is just how this feels right now into the first 9 rounds of our entire series, but also this first map. You were talking about it. Why pick a set when there's such good practiced peeps that are on it? Well, this is why, because you know how to be even better about it. Jumper is able to get up into double digits to join Conrad, who only got 1 in that previous round, but it's just slow, methodical, but effective takeaways by the Demon Deacons as they just kind of slow march their way to victory in these positions. You again have the KO, you have the Killjoy in front of you. They don't quite know that, but there's a few gadgets that may get laid to waste as you don't have a lot of great weapons moving into this next one. This 10th round, Bryant Bulldogs really got to find some advantage. Got to at least maybe making it more expensive for the Demon Deacons.
And by doing that, I mean, you're going to get the Nano Swarm up front as well as the Alarm Bot, so you might be able to find, you know, that utility just to come out. Obviously, the Dark Cover is going to delay this push just a bit as we get this beautiful overhead sight. And, you know, Jets love to play up there with the double updrafts, of course, around that heightened level. We're not going to see that this round, I believe, for WFU. And that 0 point not going to spot anything either, so they're not fully aware of anybody here except for the fact that that turret was destroyed at the beginning of the round. So this is kind of slow burning as we come in. 40 seconds looking for that explosion. Everybody's sitting in the dark cover right now, and it's going to be Aimbot versus 4 once again. We already saw how that ended last time.
Ooh, Aimbot's going to have to take him on with a classic, and they're unable to get much except a bullet to the skull. And now you actually have Shadows all the way over in Tree. And of course, this duel 2v1 over in Heaven. And as Tyvos is sending them all to Heaven, as everyone that tries to initiate against the Demon Deacons is just falling. But wait, shed some light upon the opportunity. They will be shed. They at least gets one. Penumbra finds another with the stinger in hand. It's basically the uncle to the frenzy, but the frenzy was already started and then stopped very swiftly as Wake Forest, man, they found their footing, their pace, and they are sprinting into a victory formation.
And we talked about decisiveness on Ascent kind of being the deciding factor for college teams. Obviously, when you have a player, or 2 players technically, because Jumper's up to a 4-0 KD now, that are, you know, getting those kills on such a high level, it definitely makes a difference. But their plans are extremely executed right now, and the defense for, you know, Bryant kind of looks like they went to Chegg instead of doing their homework.
Hey, you know, sometimes you procrastinate just a little bit too much, and sometimes it comes back to bite you. But the default with that 4-1 lean, you have one across. Eve has picked up an operator and did get great value as they do drop Tyvos. That's made this one a little bit of a stutter start, but not to ignore the opportunity. And that flash falls short. So, hey, Conrad says, look, follow me. Just follow the leader time. They're going to put the 0.9 out. They're going to shut down a few extra abilities. They're going to start creeping their way in. This is the one. Conrad is taking their sweet time. They try to look away, but they will not get away from Shed. They find some sweet, sweet vengeance, but the attack continues.
One enemy remaining.
That was going to be the key right there, was Jumper's fight in mid with Aimbot. We didn't get to witness it, but there was a push up Tree. He turns around expecting one to be on Cat. Ends up happening, and then boom, it's 2v1 and you have an operator in your hands, or you dropped it for a rifle. And of course, that's a lot of money invested that you're kind of willing to go by the wayside, and you have to push for this 2v1 right now just because it is 2 to 8. You need rounds. So Eve, it's up to you right now. Light shields against 2. Can you make the hero play as Jet?
Gotta be able to get that flick. Turn on them. There's one that doesn't have a whole, well, all their health at least, as you do have a Palmy down in hell as they put the paranoia out. Have to back up for a minute. They may think about what the rifle in hand is worth. They're trying to be able to swing, but no, my goodness, Jumper doesn't care how quickly you get to him. They're still going to be able to put you down just as fast. So, again, how many are we streaking with now? The last 5 rounds have gone over to Wake Forest. And even though they have a little bit of gumption and some gutsy wants and plays in them, it doesn't seem like the Bulldogs are going to be able to recover. We may be seeing a 10-2 rolling into the second half.
Yeah, and I mean, you said they're going streaking right now. They're looking like Frank the Tank in old school. I'm not going to lie to you. They're going through the quad and into the gymnasium right now that we call any site on Ascent. They're having success all over the place. And not only that, they're also just so decisive. The plans are thought out. You know, you lose the flank or you lose the lurk right off the bat last round to that operator, and then you come out and you're still able to overwhelm, still able to overcome on that B site. And there's some good chip damage done on Conrad, who's basically solo entering right now, just trying to see what they can get. As another lockdown is going to be applied towards B site. Hunter's Fury going to be committed immediately to get rid of it.
They try and keep themselves as near to side as possible. That one will work out, and that extra buff to be able to get rid of gadgets via that ultimate is really cool. So hey, you take away the viciousness of the shocks against the people, but you make them hate the robot. So this is stalled, at least this final attack, because they're not exactly sprinting on a side. And look, Conrad is looking at the gang and saying, "What do we do? What should we do? Do you want to get out there and go kill? Should I go kill?" They're talking about it, at least for the time being. You got 47 seconds before you ultimately need to make a decision. They are down one man, and they've not exactly lost mid-space if they wanted to be able to run it out. But hey, why not run it down? No Fun Police, Blade Storm, Wombo combo, let's run it in.
Yeah, they're running it in aggressively right now as Seeds is going to find one through smoke. It's going to be a way to even it up. 4-4, one elimination on both sides right now as we look at that retake versus the No Fun Police, and it's finally over. They're going to be able to activate some of their utility now. We're going to see a nice Paranoia come out towards lane, be able to get rid of one. The counter Blade Storm is going to come out as well. Conrad loses their Blade Storm, gets a head dink on one, but Aimbot's going to find it with a Guardian. And now look at this, lockdown applied. You're going to have to fight for your life, or you're going to see your hands get tied behind your back. And as they push, just don't give them 1v1s here. That is the goal. As Jumper is kind of in the back looking for some damage right now. Rock's gonna find one. There's the hands. And you know what? Unfortunately, you can listen to Miley Cyrus, but in the middle of a Valorant round, you don't want to put your hands up, play the song, and watch the butterflies fly away.
Yeah! You might have lost this round this day. 3-9. So it's only 5.5 seconds or so. I don't know how that timer works in the last part, but we do see at least Bryant able to grab one. So Wake Forest, how's their defense? We get to find out momentarily. 18-8 for Conrad, 14-4 for Jumper. Both those players so ding-dang effective. And not to be, to not shed some light upon Shed's at least assist margin. They do at least have 12, but it didn't result in endings that, are round wins. So they need to be able to find that effectiveness. This is a mirror composition. This is a mirror matchup. Can we see them be able to emulate their betters, at least their betters at this point? It will take a monumental swing. They need to do so from this very first pistol.
I think the big thing comes down to as well, when you're running a mirror comp like this, you just have like that personal desire to just try to diff your other agent. And right now, Wake Forest is winning a lot of those, as we see, of course, that flash drive come out. Aimbot's actually going to find one here, so a good start for Bryant. And Aimbot, I mean, getting first bloods as Killjoy can be a risk because you do lose that ability to kind of halt the defuse. Of course, is Shed going to get tagged here, as well as, I believe, 2 more members of Bryant. So it's going to be difficult to go ahead and enter site, of course, with no utility, but Penumbras was not spotted. We're going to see everything coming out right now. Palmy's going to be pushed off a site, and here's a nice calculated A hit. Good pacing to it as well. Going to try to rush through that smoke and going to get paid for it with his life as Aimbot finds another.
We saw a lot of favoritism and preference towards going to a site, and it looks like the same thing is going to be done unto the likes of the Demon Deacons. Wake Forest will have to slowly come back in with only 3 to this 5-man hold on this first pistol, and they're trying to be able to get him as they're not looking at him, but Shed does turn around and takes out in a battle bot situation Seeds. Only 2 remaining, and they have the leniency to drop at least a few. The dark cover will make it tough, trying to get at least a floor bang as they're moving through some of these surfaces. With 1 left, Shock Dart not going to get a kill. They will have the recon dart as they're going to try at least for 1 more. Can they tag them in the electricity? Not quite. In this 1v3 swing, they find 1. Do they at least get a few extra creds before ultimately it drops? No. Right-click fiends from Jenny will give Bryant Bulldogs their second half win.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to start, right? Theoretically, you buy up here, look at Aimbot, take in the light shields and the Phantom, wants to go full commitment with that rifle. Definitely love seeing that, as well as everybody else grabs up the util, and it's a great start, right? But I have to ask you, Monkey Man, when did Ascent become attacker-sided? I'm super confused right now.
Yeah, I'm way more used to the swing of it. Like maybe the attack starting a bit streaky and then the defense kind of standing strong. This is not that. This is completely the opposite way. Aimbot is now putting down Sentry Bot at long-term mid, and the attack, I mean, you have the power diff when it comes to the buy-up, and they're clearly going to make an example and use of that. They're going to have a nice half flash, and they're going to move on to site pretty much for free as you have everyone away. Not just pretty much, this one is free 50, and they'll even give you a discount coupon for it. So Aimbot's just going to hang out. You're going to be just near enough to be able to get one more on the seeds.
I think the name is appropriate at this point. Aimbot's been doing work, and opponent, that's a great right click, but to only pull off one, and I understand it's the default eco round, right? Everybody bought pistols. You have one frenzy, and most everybody else had classics, but to only take one gun off, and I don't know if I agree with Jumper getting super aggressive there instead of maybe trying to pay like kind of an awkward angle or an off angle and trying to get one instead of just kind of rushing head first into B and seeing what they can get. But hey, you know what? When you're 15-6 right now, I'm not going to question you. So we're going to see how they fare on the bonus round here. This is going to be the deciding factor kind of for the future as we get into this, right? Because if they're able to win this bonus, this becomes infinitely more doable than it is currently.
Yeah, I'm currently in the not probable column, and I want to see a little bit higher probability. Hit me with those stats, make the betting line just a little bit more sexy. This one will be a 0-point knife to maybe take down a few. Conrad does call out what he sees, and he sees numbers, and he also sees his HP bar going a little bit too low for his liking, so we'll have to back off. But that also is going to be generating some distance as Aimbot is going to be moving by themselves. A bit of covert movement over here onto Catwalk as they have taken over this corner, but that's also where they've kind of given up space because the dark cover's down. Now it's clear. That direct angle, thank you for the laser light, as they're going to be able to get got if they move through that archway.
Or, you know, it's Aimbot, so I fully believe that he can win a 1v1 right here. We'll see how it ends up, of course. But, I mean, start playing the Jaws music, right? This is just a standoff. It's just dun, 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 dun. And there's the swing, and Aimbot gonna find it, of course, as Conrad's gonna be able to take out Shed, and now you have to punch through the dark cover with no flashes. Conrad and Jumper combining, doing some damage, but the reload gonna catch him off. Eve is able to find one right there as well, and Eve had a rough time, of course, on defense, starting to make an impact on offense on that Jet. It's definitely good to see, as there's one right there running away with a knife. Somehow doesn't even take a bullet. You gotta tag him there. Jumper finds one. It's a 1v1, and now Eve has the opportunity to at least get the plant down. 12 seconds. They have to make this quick, and they're going to be jumping into heaven right now, and they're going to be planting in the open. This is so dangerous, so they're going to peek.
Oh, Jumper missed his window of opportunity, but is going to start creeping just on the other side. Did they see him? Oh, the footstep. Oh, they do! Jumper is able to jump down, make it work, gets a 3K on the round. Oh, that could have been a little bit easier, but they still end up making it just simple in the end. You stand in the corner, you're going to take a bullet in that corner and die. And so there's the double digits we've been waiting on. Wow, Bryant had a chance to really swing this entire match into their side, but I mean, Aimbot started us off moving up into garden. I mean, look at that kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful kill, and then you see Conrad and Jumper just combining and continuing to wreak havoc, right? Like they have this entire map so far. It really comes down to me, though, right? You didn't win the round, but you did take 4 guns out of their hands, and now you look at the buy. So you do have, you know, 3 rifles coming in, 1 only with light shields, and 2 stingers, and they're on defense, right? So stingers on defense to me are pretty much a one and done gun, right? So you're either going to play follow the leader here and try to keep on to the rifles as close as you can, as Eve kind of just hides out on this box on the one way. It's a great recon bolt right there as well from the backside to be able to get spot Rock out, and that as well going to do a good job. So that's 2 people right now that have been found on this B main site. And not only that, you know, there's no updrafts, there's no tailwind, there's no economy that you can find, but Aimbot's going to just continue to decimate upon me over in tree.
You may have pushed a couple away, but that doesn't mean they're not going to re-aggress at least the perimeter of site A, and Conrad has to play a little bit sus of mid, as it's assumed that the rotation is going through. Everyone's going to move over into tiles, and it looks like there's going to be a blunt push through B main. Shed does not have the No Fun Police, the null command to be able to get there for free. And it looks like they're going to have to run it up, but Aimbot continues to find skulls swiftly, but so does Jumper because he doesn't get cleared out. So the Stinger will be able to get another, but they actually get a kill off of the Swarm Grenade. So he finds the opposite end, gets onto Tyvos, and now it's a 2v2. Wow, lots of trades very quickly, and Eva's trying to do the same thing, and now they have to get away from the laser beams.
They're not able to. And they're not able to. That is a magnificent round right there by Wake Forest. And, you know, they're named the Demons for a reason. Kind of showing you why they're on that retake. And now Jumper and Conrad are together with 21 kills apiece. And if you're looking at 16 total rounds played right now and 42 kills in between two players, you're definitely feeling pretty good about your odds moving forward as well, of course, as the economic damage also pretty large on the side of Bryant. You have kind of a scuffed by here. Eve's going to be pulling out the Blade Storm, which, hey, you're going to have to get value out of it here. This is a swing round. You do not want them to get to 12.
Get out of my way.
If I'm correct, I think Jumper has only died 3 times since the midpoint of the previous half. Like, that's how impactful that particular player has been for Wake Forest. Always able to be to clutch in the moment. That tailwind. How in the world are you letting Conrad get away with that? He swings on you. You see him. He proceeds outside the dark cover, and he even makes the tailwind not work. But he puts his butt to the wall, and he still is able to get a kill. And Conrad is leading the charge as Shed is able to get a wall bang against them. And now they're the only one left against this defense that's gotten so aggro, and you're stuck in a bad position out of that fragment.
Yeah, essentially, I mean, Shad right there was the man in the box, and he got buried. I'm not going to finish the line, obviously, but as we move on, I mean, it's just Wake Forest kind of playing that aggressive thing, but you cannot let Conrad get away with this, right? Even with the KO flash coming through, of course, that dark cover, you cannot let this man get away with 2 in that position. And unfortunately, he's just able to use the tailwind, get out of dodge just a little bit. You actually saw him back. He was trying to go back into the smoke. He ran into his teammate. He got body blocked and he somehow still lived. And it's just those kind of micro plays and those microcosms of like those situations that really swing games right now. And we're looking at a 5-12, of course. We do have another map coming after this, but with the lockdown, with the ult economy right now, I mean, maybe Bryant can swing something in the direction. We are going to see the no fun police come out here from the KO just to try to slow down this push, but they don't really care. They have the lockdown already prepped and ready, and they're taking the space that was given to them on site.
Good news is Bryant didn't overcommit to try and make any weird baits happen into the perimeter of that lockdown. You will have the 0 point down as well. Eve is able to find seeds, and oh, what a nice take. Conrad does get away from aimbot, and they find another one that's hanging on logs. They're going to try and jump up and see if anyone is there, and they'll have to float. They can't quite sling a kunai into the skull. Tyvos does at least eliminate Shed, and they'll be able to tag one from opposite end and give Conrad some intel. They know that Rock is by themselves. He's going to have to rock and roll against everyone. They're going for the classic. Oh, the jump classic maneuver, and that'll do it. The defense able to get the defuse here. The Demon Deacons looking great, looking dominant, looking fine and clean, and they did it behind both Conrad and Jumper. That's a 13-5 in map number 1.
And I definitely love how they came back, of course, and took the team picture. Like, Conrad was hopping all around site. Like, yeah, I got a 4K, and then they all come back at the very end to go ahead and get the team photo there with everybody still alive with the last defuse. Definitely love seeing that, and it just kind of comes down to, again, those things. Obviously, the aim duel's massively kind of swinging it into Wake Forest way. I did like what I saw out of Bryant, though. They were decisive on offense. They did have coordinated sight hits, and I'm interested to see what kind of happens with Icebox, because now with Breeze removed, Monkey Man, we're really looking at the aim duel map is now Icebox, right? Because that's the longest sight lines that you're basically going to have in Valorant. So it's going to be interesting to see if it's going to continue to be, of course, the Jumper show with Conrad and support, or if it's going to be, you know, Bryant who starts winning those golden fights, especially on that B long or A ramp scenario.
I mean, there was so much of it that was behind aimbot. Aimbot was really giving them kind of a point of success that they could start kind of slowly ramping things up. But it was just the tail end of that big bonus round that kind of fell short for them. But ultimately, you know what? That was Wake Forest setting themselves up for success very, very early and being able to run with that going into the previous. So we have map number 2 in front of us, and it's going to be the likes of Icebox. Can they continue to stay cool, calm, collected? We'll find out right after this short break.
Their Luigi only at 40%, but it was up to Splat to do anything but.
There. Just keep him off stage with that Zare. Oh, if that spot right here for Teo.
If that block didn't disappear,
oh
no way.
Oh, just steps on the
pressure plate.
A tale as old as time, Pace White versus Pace Gold, and Pace White's morale was through the roof as they won a fight, but little did they know, this was Lofi's world, and they wouldn't be living in it for much longer.
Going in with the blade.
Uh-oh, Blade is out. It's hacked. It doesn't matter, though. Slashes away for 2. Looking for a 3rd. Looking for 4. Won't get it just yet on the Blade. However, the slash and dash works out. Luffy's got 3. Looking for everybody else on this team. It's a white.
The Inkling versus Ganondorf matchup is not very good for Ganondorf, but let's be honest, which matchups are? In this clip, we're going to be watching as JD from Fisher learns the hard way that you never really want to meet an Inkling off stage.
Sooner if you don't find that kill confirm or that kill or a bomb off stage like that.
That bomb angle
guarding is so good today.
Yeah, that bomb angle was beautiful.
Week 4 of ECAC Rocket League was absolutely insane. CMU and FC were tied up 0-0, but it was Gand who told FC they shall not pass game number 2.
Side of FC, they've only got one player for a moment there. They're trying to recollect, they're trying to reposition, but how do you position around a pinpoint accurate shot like this? Gand goes crossbar down for the first goal.
Adams in reverse, backed the defense off with that.
Whenever I'm on the mic for Valorant, you'll often hear the line, check your corners, repeated over and over and over again. And even with me not on the mic to tell them, I have a feeling this team may have learned that lesson.
Nah, he's got to take the shot.
Take it.
Oh yeah, just sounds of teammates running on through and come on, dive! The 4K on a completely unaware trio. And it's 11-0 right now.
And those are the top 8 moments we thought deserved just a little bit more time in the spotlight of week number 4 here at ECAC. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're interested in what ECAC has going on, we got something happening nearly every day of the week. So check us out right here. Editor, that's a challenge for you. Wink, wink. And folks, this has been all from me. Thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy this, and we've got plenty of weeks down the line. Can't wait to see what comes of them.
And there's so many other jobs as well that can translate out of this experience in esports. The only path is not just as a player. I think all of us are representative of jobs in esports, but it mirrors traditional sports in pretty much the same way. You've got, you know, broadcasters, you've got production people, you've got marketing and sales, and now NIL and things like that. But really, esports is kind of a great accelerator for a lot of new businesses that are coming up in the metaverse and Web3, and there's a lot of new technology that is going to be needed. And so these STEM students that are also esports athletes are really the future workforce and leaders of tomorrow. And you know, us as well as all of our brand partners that we work with really recognize this. And I think that's really, you know, a key driver of why brands are in this space. They want to be part of building that future workforce and leadership and shaping it and supporting it. So, yeah, it's been a very interesting space to watch.
And we offer such a big, we offer such a big counterpart to traditional sports also, because it's a counterpart, but it's also the same, is what I'm trying to say. Because when you're traditional sports and they're done after their 2-a-day workout and they're done after their practice scrim, they're coming home to play Call of Duty and relax and put their feet up and get a drink and play video games. It grows their brain, problem-solving skills, and their hand-eye coordination while they're home. Hand-eye coordination, if you're a football player, massive skill. So it helps build those things while they're off the field. And then for us, vice versa, if you're an esports athlete, one of the errors I had growing up when I was competing in esports is that I was not active enough. I played sports, I competed a little bit, but I wasn't active enough truly when I look at it. So that's one area that esports players can learn from in terms of activity and physical and the marrying of both. People say, oh, sports and esports, video games. Not really. We're just kind of the tech industry's competitive form of competition, as to where traditional sports are more physical, hands-on. So I believe in the marrying of these two sectors and that they actually live together while also being counterparts.
Well, I think I think then to speak to something about marrying right from traditional to esports, that to me speaks to this whole new thing. At least again from you guys, right? You guys have more traditional sports background, right? Paul, Lee, Mike, and all of that. But I think let's talk NIL then, because I think that's something that I think is really interesting. That at least when I heard about it, right, of what we're trying to do with esports athletes, schools, programs in general. Because it wasn't something you would think normally, right? You could understand, right? Football player on the field, star quarterback. It makes sense, right? The guy is somebody that everybody knows on campus, whether you're on the
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for even more Esports U action. Want to give you some insight because the semester is starting all over again. We've got even more titles that are happening every single day, especially on this channel, as Rocket League is going to be happening tomorrow of SUNY Poly A versus Louisiana Tech Blue, and that's going to be at 7:30 p.m. EST. So if you're on the East Coast, you have a nice little evening featurette. If you're on the West Coast, well, hey, afternoons are the same. But we're going to be moving into map number 2 as we're still around for some Valorant tonight. Visionary 1, my man, we got to see a very dominant feature between the likes of the Deacons and the Bulldogs, but the Deacons were holding on to it 13-5, and there were some very effective players out there, man.
Yeah, obviously some of the things that we were talking about, in the lead up on the break, like Conrad, you have 7 first bloods in 18 rounds. That's obviously massive impact, of course. Jumper dying twice in 7 rounds on the defense side, and then also going 22-6 with 7 assists to Sova. If you're getting that kind of value out of your top 2 characters, and one is an initiator and one is a duelist, that tells me 2 things, right? One of them, they're comboing their utility effectively, and B, aim gods. It's literally that simple. They're just able to come in and win.
Yeah, there was plenty of times I saw Shed just kind of leaning back on his robot boots on that KO and not able to deal with the pressure of creating that kind of space. And that is the kind of duelist that you want in your corner all the time. Can the same be done here on Icebox? There's a few extra walls. Things get a little bit more in the way, but it presents just as much of that vertical playground that maybe Conrad will be able to run forward with. I am wondering if we're going to see a change up. Will we have the big mirror that we had before? I think Sova, which currently are being floated between Jumper and Penumbras, will be at least brought in. Viper has, pretty much been the regular mom of the group, always on this map, and it looks like we are going to be at least seeing that would-be jet diff coming in between Eve and Conrad. It's looking more of the same, just maybe the controllers change up.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sage brought out as well, just because that wall is so vital to kind of gain that control on B site. Obviously Viper has always been mommy on this map, like you said. It's just kind of how it works. Those walls work a lot better for the long sight lines of Icebox than they do for a map like Ascent, where you really need that kind of dome smoke coverage to get the choke points worked out. Not a lot of choke points on this map, like you said, Monkey Man. A ton of verticality. We're going to see Viper. We're actually going to see Arena coming out from aimbot as well. So they're like, hey, I just got 4 first bloods as KJ. Imagine what I could do on Arena. So we're going to see a double duelist comp with the shades of 2021 Valorant from Reykjavik when the Sentinels won, and we're running 10s on Reyna on Icebox. So a little throwback comp here. Definitely like to see it. Let's see how it pans out for them. We're going to see aimbot getting more aggressive. Remember, they did have 4 first bloods as KJ in the last map.
Yeah, that was with some good intel and with an air to them that they must be confident or else their team is going to fall. So we'll be able to see the same thing. Penumbras is actually shifted over, and instead of being on, well, actually, I guess they weren't the Sova before, but they're going to be on that opposite Viper, and so Tyvos will be staying out on that Killjoy. Killjoy's kind of back and forth with me on this map. Sometimes it can work out. I don't know. You got to see so much Chamber that I forgot that other Sentinels can work on this map, and of course that's going to be opposite of them in Shed, who was the KO before. So kind of up and down between double initiator, but the double duelist, can aggression pay off? Can aimbot be an even bigger, more violent threat to be able to get the Bulldogs back on track?
We're going to see if it can happen here. That double stack there is absolutely deadly. Conrad going to go ahead and dodge out of pressure. Burned all 5 bullets already. Is aimbot going to find one? Gets the heal off, which is so vital, but they're going to be taken down, of course, by Seeds right there with the headshot. And Conrad going to lose to a left click by Penumbras. It's going to be a 2v3. There's an opportunity for success here, but the Nanoswarm is going to take those win conditions down just a slight bit.
Numbers looking towards Seeds in the back, who pretty much has, you know, a half bullets worth of HP. Oh, what a tap, though! You'll be able to get rid of Penumbras as they're hanging out in the backside of that box, as double KO knives will be flung across, and they do recognize that at least the Sova by themselves are trying to go get that plant, but they are not ready for the flank from behind. So the defense of Wake Forest, we're seeing that kind of flip of halves in terms of their defense showcased early, and it was just a great crawl in from that flank end to really just kind of secure this first round.
I mean, it's a great job, of course, on the flank as well. Palmy looking a little bit like Rick Astley right there. Just didn't give up on it, you know? I mean, as a Viper, your job is to wall, your job is to rat, your job is to lurk, right? Because you don't have to be anywhere near where you need to be to smoke. You throw down that wall, you commit that wall, just go be a menace to society to the other team. That flank comes through, silent the whole way. They don't have to rush it out. Teammates low HP, they don't care about that. They just know, hey, we can play time after the plant's down. We're going to be able to lock it down. We're going to see a ton of sheriffs, of course, coming out right now for Bryant University. It's going to be difficult to go ahead and get these picks, especially with marshals in play. And we talked about Icebox kind of being the default aim map. We're going to see if those sheriffs will pay off with those 145 and those 155 dinks.
But see, you know the rules and so do I. And when it comes to long commitments to some of those flanks, I want to know if they're going to actually continue with those, because sometimes they're going to be even trickier to have to navigate. Palmy is going to be putting down the poison orb, so there will be some vulnerability onto aimbot, but they only see the one. Palmy's waiting on it. They're going to be double swung from around yellow, and that is a quick push. Aimbot will be tapped out by Tyvos and Palmy as well. And that's going to be 2 in a row. Oh my goodness, they're just lining up the bodies to be put to the floor.
And to quote Drowning Pool, they are continuing to hit the floor, and we're going to go ahead and see Penumbras right here. See if they can get some value. There's one dome. Let's see if he can claim 2 more. He's sitting here right now, and that's a great angle by Conrad to be able to shut down that aggression. It's going to be 2-0 in favor of Wake Forest. We talked about, of course, how Icebox kind of leans like Ascent, right? Like typically you're more successful on defense than on offense. It's not as heavy of a split as Ascent is, but I mean, starting out hot once again on defense is definitely massive for Wake Forest, who started out on attack last time and were able to get 9.
Yeah, and the mid, kind of comparatively, when you kind of look to Ascent, is very much like a squiggle. It's you got kind of a upper and lower layer to it when you look at the ramp going over into kitchen, or trying to be able to work your way just outside the window thereof. And, you know, earlier, Viper, they were trying to exist continuously, maybe get some extra value, but then they took him Swift Marshal to the kneecap, and that's the end of that football career in a hurry. Conrad is going to be very aggressive up in this position, just in front of the ult orb, and allow Shed to be able to get actually opposite of them, but to be able to allow their KO up into mid. Holy, you never expect that one. Shed, in fact, continues to be the one that drops in these confrontations with Conrad.
You can't let him get away. You can't keep getting away with this, Monkey Man. It can't keep happening. You have to pick that man off. You can't let him steal the Phantom. You can't let him continue to lurk here. And now all of them are like, okay, Conrad's pushed up all the way on A. We're just going to go to B. You know what? Let's go deal with Apami, of course, who is just sitting here, of course, with that poison orb up. It's going to be fun pushing through it because that decay is going to come, but it is going to be 3 or 4 people peeking them. They're going to know that they're there, of course, with that wall. As okay, Stinger's just built them, apparently.
It's the biggest diff. They're trying to be able to get as many sprays as they can. Basically 5mm bullets raining down, but with 11 HP, it's gonna be tough to swing. And though they made the best of it, it's gonna be Jumper that jumps onto them. They're gonna upgrade a couple of their guns, maybe get their more favored skin. So the first 3-0, and that one is a breakage of the economy. The Bulldogs are already being put right back in the kennel, and Conrad has a Bladestorm. They're gonna have an op in hand here in round 4. If they weren't already a threat, they're gonna be a bigger one. This hurts for shit.
Yeah, you peek that, you don't expect somebody to go ahead and push up that far, and I really think they forgot who they were messing with, you know? It just really comes down to that. Conrad's going to play those angles. He believes in his aim. And I know you talked about earlier, you talked about the Marshal to the knee. I just wanted to say I was very disappointed to figure out that, you know, of course, Valorant switched to all turf instead of natural grass. It's been causing those knee injuries here on the map as Conrad looking to get value out of this operator. It's going to be important as they are just rushing it down. And there's a good tailwind to at least get away from one. But the Reyna Lear going to be able to pull him off of that as well. And this is going to be a 4v1. And he's just going to have to back out. They're going to have to give up sight and come back and try to retake this as long as they can get the plant down.
See, the difference between a great Conrad with an operator and one that has their Vandal is that they have to be able to step back because they don't have a spray of bullets to be able to continue putting that rain of terror downfield. And they also are going to get dropped by Aimbot, who's got full Empress. The big ghosty mommy is also rearing their amazing, beautiful head, as this will be a 4v3. Now, the defense has to be able to get that retake. That operator, the high investment weapon, is on top of rafters, and they do get tagged at least a little bit by the recon dart. You have one again coming in. Appall me. Do they get seen? Is there enough time? They're going to be up beyond Maze, and Aimbot still has Empress Ghost, and they're getting tagged, but they're not getting bagged. Seeds is able to get Aimbot dropped, and that's going to be another one by Seeds, and everyone's dropping down. Is there enough time to be able to get this one away? I don't think so. They're shaking their heads. Seeds, don't say no. Oh, but hey, you know what? Made it expensive for them. That one is going to be Bryant getting their first round.
And they got it on a Thrifty as well, so you know they dropped the bonus and then they're able to pull this one out. So they have the economy to work with here, which is definitely nice to see. Aimbot really popping off with that Empress, making a difference with their ultimate. We talked about how well they did on KJ last time, kind of lurking, getting those opening duels. They had 4 first bloods. I think Reyna is a solid pick here. Obviously 5-4 leading the team right now, but you're having to deal with Seeds, who is now 7-1, stepping up huge, and Conrad, unfortunately, going to be sitting here. I mean, they have the Blade Storm. We've seen them pop with it before, but losing that investment of the operator that early certainly has to hurt.
Yeah, and that was just a round ago. So you feel like you got this amazing, awesome, boon, and then that boon became bane. But look at the split. You actually have just all of the T's going on at B, as they're going to have this just soft duel with Aimbot. They're going to be able to find one, but that's immediate call out that's going to be able to create some space. You do invest the toxic screen to be able to move forward, and that actually may draw the rotation, but because of that kill, now Aimbot is creeping further and further all the way into Snowman. If they get one more off of this swing, they may be able to do it for free. They do in fact taunt Tavos, and they will be able to move forward. They have a full, well, temporary shield, but this is the attack really pushing forward.
I mean, it's a phenomenal job, though. Just Aimbot taking 1v1s, and that's where Reyna excels. If you're able to get that heal off, you can be successful with this character. Playing it to perfection, getting all the way behind, and as much as I hate to say it, oh, that's slightly awkward crosshair placement, not able to pull that one off as Eve getting tagged up at 11 HP, but Aimbot's still sitting here right now. 116 health, but that overheal about to expire, so only 3 Vandal shots can they amass before they go, and Aimbot just going to find another headshot. Not really surprised by that one there. It's going to be a save situation. Going to take the fight to Conrad. A little bit of an overheat, but Shed luckily gets the wallbang, puts him down, and it's now 3-2. They only lose 1 gun. That is massive for them because they did win the Thrifty, but it was expensive for them, right? So coming back, they have full buys again, and you put Wake Forest on an eco round for the first time since Vietnam, or pistol round. Take your pick.
It has been history made in this particular series. It's either 50 years or at least 5 minutes. It's been a while since Bryant University has been in this controlling position, and guess what? It's behind the push of Aimbot. They've allowed the Bulldogs to be in this great attack, and though they give away the first 3, Aimbot, as long as they exist, they are threats, and they can be able to be so impactful against these Demon Deacons. But off of this eco, we've already seen the Thrifty before. Aimbot will be creeping up into Kitchen. They're basically surrounded by 3 others. Conrad, very tenuous, very, very shy about wanting to give up and go into a direct duel. Same for Aimbot. Pretty much can hear that sentry. Who's going to be able to find first contact? They're right next to each other. Oh, and on the quick swing, Aimbot is going to be able to dismiss and get out of there.
Also, put the 2 fingers up. Beautiful dismiss to get out of there. And trying to just get that mid control and continue to just make Wake Forest think about where they could potentially be coming from, right? And as much as I hate to say it because it always happens every single time you play a ranked game, your Reyna lurks, right? This is why you get the value from it, though. You're seeing the lurking working out to a perfection, and it's because you have that jet to go ahead and open up sights, be able to push the issue. Viper's Pit now committed. You have a ton of coverage for yourself. You're in a 5v4, and you just set yourself up for success right here. And Aimbot getting aggressive up and nest, but the defender Killjoy gonna cause some problems here as well. You're either gonna have to push that because there is no ultimate that you could burn unless they could decide to use the Hunter's Fury to get rid of that thing.
That is Conrad dropping yet another operator as they did invest up into it again. That's Aimbot that's going to be covered by their friendos. Shed finds Tyvos, and Eve gets a wallbang on the Seeds. Oh, but that judge is in hand. Appall Me will drop, and that will be still just near flawless. Bryant, after giving 3, they take 3, and what a wild swing. Another judge is being bought by Palmy. Why not? As they're going to be, actually, well, they were flirting with it. So this is very rapidly said, aimbot, go kill. They're 10-5.
I mean, sometimes the best IGL strats of all time are just, hey, duelist, go kill. Like, I mean, we saw it with Tens and Reykjavik. We saw it with Ye on Chamber a lot. Like, sometimes you just have to tell your best player, hey, just go frag. I believe in you. And, you know, give them that confidence to kind of play a comfort agent like Arena that isn't really, you know, super in the meta competitively, but still able to make a difference and make an impact. And you're seeing it right now. And I think that's extremely important to allow those comfort picks. Because myself, personally, I would much rather have a player on someone that they're comfortable with than maybe having some kind of role that, you know, they don't excel in, but very clearly they excel at just getting picks regardless of character that they play. Conrad has done a good job of lurking up mid, but we had a great space taking ability, of course, by aimbot again to take care of B. Removes 2 players from it. Conrad's going to get removed by Penumbras as well, and this just got massive for them as they're actually going to push A out to this. They're going to catch him on the rotate.
Aimbot is the owner of their own pest control company, and everyone else is just a rat. Flawless for the Bulldogs, a 3K on this round, and Aimbot making light work of anyone in front of them as they continue to not have the numbers. It's just individual swings. 13-5 in the first 7. That is massive. Just nearly able to get to 2 kills on average per round, and it was off of the streaks that we see on the attack for the Bulldogs. This is not a one-man army, but this is definitely a high-level individual effort.
Yeah, and I just want to go ahead and highlight as well that Jumper actually has more deaths right now than he did in the entire last match. So you've done a good job of shutting him down here on Icebox. So I think that's important. Obviously, you kind of shut down the players that are popping off. Oh my Jesus, Eve. What a flick to catch a jumping member of Wake Forest. Aimbot's going to get traded out finally. It seems like that has never happened so far. And Seed's going to get some value out of that Stinger once again. Spike is going to be down mid, and it's going to be a 3v1 now as Seeds is there trying to upgrade the gun, and unfortunately, my man, you just can't upgrade the gun. You get greedy, you want the gun skin, but you know, you end up dying anyway. So it's going to be 5-3. I really like what Bryant did there. You know, they took that space, they were effectively trading, they're playing off of each other, and I have to say, they honestly look a lot more cohesive, decisive, as well as just, you know, kind of trusting themselves as we see that, which was just nasty. They look so much more cohesive as an offensive unit right now than they did on Ascent. I like seeing this, and this might be why they chose the map.
Yeah, they're taking decisive movements. They're saying, all right, if we can either run behind it, it's like they already know what they want to do, and they're just making sure that they've put themselves in opportunistic positions. But Conrad finally exacts a little bit of stoppage play onto Aimbot. They'll wallbang onto that duel. They're not going to be walking away from that for free, be it being hurt or being very dead now from the benches as of the wait for round number 10. But Bryant has now been stopped, so this is going to be a double swing as well, as Palmy is in a weird position, but they're able to get another one as Penumbras will drop away. The spike has been found, and they know where Eve is, and Eve was able to make him go eep off of that quick swing. As cool as it was, this is quickly a numbers advantage over to Wake Forest as they go right back to work.
I mean, all you had to do was really shut down the swing. Of course, Jumper's going to get the trade from Seeds, of course, when Rock shut him down. It's going to be 2 rifles out of the hands of Wake Forest. It's looking like it's going to be buys all around once again for Bryant. But I just want to highlight again, like sometimes doing things like that and just kind of switching up who's playing on what site, just to give someone a different look, right? Like Aimbot is not expecting the Jet to be updrafted on top of the box there on B main, playing that height advantage, and just a shoulder peek goes awry. And you're able to take out the biggest impact player so far in this entire map. So just doing that, continue to trade things up, put some pressure on him. Don't let them get comfortable, right? Because he was just pushing the Viper and winning every time, and then he was pushing the Killjoy on B and winning every time. Now we get to see something a little bit different as there's another opening pick won by Aimbot. Are you kidding me? You just have to fucking download where he is right now. Go ahead, swing through, and put Conrad on him, because if it's not going to be a 1v1 fight to the death, I don't want to see it.
Clear goes up, everyone becomes blind. Aimbot will, in fact, take a lot of decay, but that is just temporary. Oh, but this is forever. Death is by Jumper, and they'll be eventually swung out by Eve. There's a self-heal. That's going to get you all of 30 HP and soft dreams. But from this backside flank, Conrad! Oh, he won't be able to get 3 as they will be total pole stacked one over the other. Tyvos can be able to get to it. The toxic screen is going to take away vision, so that does separate and isolate the planter onto it. They do get it behind this wall, which will have high value because Tyvos won't be able to get over it unless they have to navigate all the way beyond screens. So you play, just keep those guns in hand. Wake Forest doesn't want to give a lot of separation to the Bulldogs. This round 10 is pivotal for them to continue moving forward.
And this is a pretty nasty crossfire that they have set up as well. Eve is just in a nice position right there. There's the high-low, of course, being able to hold the push from Maze, and it's going to be 6-4, and BU looking extremely strong on offense here. Again, able to pull the round. Economy is not even a question right now for them at this point. So they continue to kind of string rounds together, right? It was 5 in a row. You drop one, you pick it right back up where you left off, and it all starts off with aimbot. Again, Monkey Man just coming through, getting those opening frags. He's essentially just become a demon. Like you said, you know, the Bulldogs were put in the kennel last map. Well, they just let them and their 14 puppies out right now, and they're all the form of aimbot.
Yeah, this is that new hybrid. It's the pit bull plus the bulldog. It's the bullies, and they're currently bullying the likes of the Demon Deacons, and that's just a fat spray. They knew and read what was going to be going on, but it's aimbot that does get rid of seeds. Conrad is going to retreat. They have that tailwind. They see aimbot. They say no, and they'll take one quick shot, try to be able to get that quick duel, and then they'll move away. This becomes a hard pass over to B as a spike and will be moving, but they'll have to be able to make it through the one way of the poison orb, and I think that there is some tentativeness to chase because they have been outflanked and faked on these kinds of things before. Will it happen again? Palmy pretty much left on an island right now, and that's been rough against people like Aimbot, who's going to spray through. Now taking a 1-on-2.
Yeah, now taking a 1-on-4, not able to get much with it. Shed is low health once again. It's kind of one of those dangerous positions that you don't want to be in, but the plant is going to go down along with the wall. You definitely love to see that. Res still available. We're seeing the ults. So many available on both sides right now. You have the Resurrection. You have the Hunter's Fury on both sides. You have a lockdown, and of course, the lockdown's offline now because Aimbot's just goaded with the sauce. As we continue to push down, Aimbot finds 3. He's on Ace Watch right now, uses the dismiss. There's 2 more on flank. Penumbras is going to find 1. Conrad, they know where he is. The spike obviously already there. It's going to be up to the Blade Storm to make everything go down. And are they just going to leave this? Are they playing for Hunter's Fury potentially? They are. And there's the shot from Aimbot, though. This is going to be extremely dangerous. He's going to be able to find him. Does he have time, though? Is going to be the question. I think he does. I think he pulls this off by about 0.1.
Oh my goodness, that wall broke at just the right time. They're gonna have just a little bit more than that, a second and a half. I think that's forgiving, but wow, what a play by Conrad to make that one even closer into this first half. Just when you think it's all lost, when you think Aimbot is the demon that cannot be baptized and gotten rid of, just able to come through, Conrad finds Aimbot first, finds the laser in their face, and they throw darts straight into him before the Sova can be able to get him down. They wouldn't have died to that, I don't think, because they had enough HP, but Conrad was a hero regardless. We go to our final round. Everyone's bought up. Palmy, you can bet that they're going to be putting down that snake pit because they got a judge in hand.
And Vipers... Oh, okay, Eve, I see you. Good opping right there. It's not something that we got to see on Ascent because they didn't get enough time. I mean, they had 9 rounds on defense. They didn't have the economy to bring it out. So if that's what Eve's specialty is, he's got a nice couple of opening picks with that operator now here on Icebox. I think that's massive as far as, of course, you know, the value that you're getting out of it, because we've seen him with the Blade Storms not able to get much. The operator seemed to do much better for him right now as we push over towards the B side. Of course, we're going to lose Penumbras right now. The Viper is down. It's going to make this push just a little bit more difficult and potentially make them lean B, just for the sheer fact that you still have the wall available.
You do have the revive, and that's gonna happen. Okay, thank you. All right, Shed, I see you. Cool. We're in the same comms. All right, different channel, same love. That's gonna be the Bulldogs that are taking their time. They are getting to about the 45-second mark, and so it looks like the wave is beginning to move over to B. Aimbot up into kitchen, and they think that maybe the gadgets are still set up by Tyvos. out in distance. You get the pit being put down. They're going to use that as a way to entry, but Palmy, they're going to get tagged. They recognize that they have to be able to hold this with the judge. It's just not going to work out. Shed is able to find them, but that's going to be a quick swing by Tyvos as well. The plant is coming through because the wall is up, and they're going to take this from distance, but you do have the Hunter's Fury that's able to push them away.
And the Hunter Fury does a great job just kind of get him off of it, of course. Tyvos is going to be sitting here right now. I actually got tagged with the first part of that, so he had to get pushed off by his own teammate, unfortunately, as that's going to be dropped, of course, inside of the pit just a little bit. There's the Blade Storm. All 5 blades come out and gets 100 damage on Conrad. This is not where you want to be right now. Penumbras, the ult drops. Shed gets value out of the judge, and Conrad going to be able to find it in the middle. And there it is once again. Conrad stepping up, getting the final 2 frags for Wake Forest and turning this into a 6-6 when it looked like at one point that the Bryant Bulldogs were just going to absolutely steamroll through this offensive session. We're now tied at half.
You gotta wonder the effectiveness of that and playing with aimbot. I mean, they definitely were able to isolate when they were kind of that long lurk by themselves on their lonesome and be able to say, hey, I'm not trapped here with you. You're trapped here with me. Go down and kill. Now when it's defense, it's gonna be rough. You're gonna have numbers in your face. But talking about numbers and I guess maybe different dates. This Thursday, 8:30 p.m. EST will be some Overwatch. We got Overwatch 2 here on Esports U. It's gonna be the University of Albany, not Alabama, Albany versus University of South Florida. So make sure to check that as the ECAC Overwatch will be bringing its collegiate best. And of course, you know, I did that poll. I'm thinking about getting into some Overwatch too. You guys should check it out. It's coming up later this week. But we go into the second half. We are no further in finding our winner as both these teams are tied up at 6.
Yeah, we're basically starting from square one just to switch sides. Once again, the wall is going to come out. Of course, we're going to get that the 0 point out to shut down a little bit of action, and we're going to see where the value can be found is going to be Conrad getting the opening pick on aimbot, which has been so massive before, but Conrad down to 10 HP. They get pinged, of course, with that bolt. It might be dangerous. Shed going to have to play a little bit off site here. I don't think they've burned their wall yet. So, or they have, and it's been busted through. So Seed's going to be able to get that one. We're see everybody push through once again. Shed able to find some utility. Conrad goes down after going through the wall. Here's Tyvos on the flank. Take it down from a headshot by the Classic at that distance. Are you kidding me? But now it's a 1v2. You have to be able to shut down just about everything. Spike planted in the back. Penumbras. Can you get a couple more of those dinks?
Be able to have that hollow point ready to go. Seeds is very, very hurt. Penumbras will take a little bit of extra chip damage, but they're gonna have to take on this crossfire. They get in 1, they get 2. The wolf will howl, and so will they. That is Penumbras casting their shadow as they eclipse the likes of that post-plant hold. And yes, I did Google what a penumbra was, and that's what it is. So, haha, you have been learned.
Hey man, it's college Valorant, right? So I do expect to learn something. We all expect to be educated at some point during college. I mean, I got a little bit of it, but we're gonna watch this clutch again because it was just so beautiful. The right click to the dome, and then hey, we're just gonna play our numbers here. Get the second one, 4K for Penumbras, able to come through, and we see the force up with 2 marshals this time in between Eel and Rock, and I expect one of them to be playing a long angle, which you see one covering mid and one covering a rafter. So I mean, if you're gonna play a marshal, it's kind of where to do it. No shields on the other side. So essentially you have 2 operators right now.
Some 3 chest shots. So many utility items just got thrown over the wall. Trying to see if they can just push everyone away. Aimbots, holy, I haven't seen that accurate of work with a stinger in a long time, but put into their hands and it's basically every single one a critical hit. They're gonna move through the toxic screen, so there's a lot of decay happening. They're gonna have to back off because of all this Viper util that does give them at least a bit of pseudo space out just beyond maze. Rock and roll, baby, as they're gonna drop Tyvos. You said it was basically an operator, and they're operating quite fine.
They are operating mighty fine right now, as they're going to have to make noise to go ahead and break this wall. And of course comes up the Viper pit. Or, I'm sorry, the Viper wall. Just to kind of delay this out, and it's going to be gone. There's Shed getting 1, of course, with the stinger. We're seeing so many stingers right now, and I understand it's the meta, but the gun just seems like it is cracked out of its mind. Like nobody can ever miss with it. And there is the run and gun. Valorant is definitely known for its precise gunplay. There's a great example of it. Shed able to get 2 that round with that stinger. They're going to hold on to these and take a 2-round advantage, and they have now won, I believe. No, they lost the first 3, so they have won the second round pistol both times in both these maps. Let's see if they can take that momentum a little bit further this time than they did on Ascent.
Let's see aimbot at the 20 bomb, 2 times as many as his next two teammates. Actually, you put both in total for Shed and Penumbras, and you've got what Aimbot has been able to output right now. But still, the rest of the squad is no slouch, as they're not under sub 500 either. Shed is going to be holding a very, very tight angle in what could be a crash of a 1v5, and you do have the recon dart that does not identify them, so they may be able to get at least one. They do. The spike will drop. Oh, but that will be Tyvos that's able to trade out Sentinel for Sentinel. On top of Yellow Box, holding onto this Overwatch is Conrad to be able to get some safe run in. But that's a poison orb. Aimbot's going to hold that close angle, and they don't like it, so you do see the Silva back off to be able to put a shock dart in front.
They didn't like the angle because there was also, of course, the molly in front of that. So it's going to be more and more difficult as we see kind of Reyna's Lear gets burned right there. Unfortunately blocked by that poison orb. Conrad's going to be able to find one, of course, in Snowman. And now we have the opportunity to get the plant down. That's a good spray. Kind of knows where Penumbras is. But there's the molly and the push right there. Going to get some value with a ghost. And that's a great way to start off this round. It's now a 3v3. Both pits down, the wall down. Everything is happening all at once. Penumbras not able to find that one on Conrad once again, who somehow still has full health. A little bit of chip damage coming through. Eve is going to find another, and this just continues being back and forth all the way through, Monkey Man. And I think the real question is, can you get the plant down? No, Eve has another headshot with the Marshall.
Oh, they keep just teasing each other, and that's Eve from distance. The 3K is finished. Just continuous. You know that they're lurking right around that corner. You have the Lear coming over to you, and you cannot get around it. So you keep having to kind of just stagger start your plant, and then of course, as they have just one popping up from the next, it's just constant Groundhog Day, doing the same thing over and over, and just unable to eventually get it down. So that pays off. You see now this weird broke eco. They're gonna look to maybe save. They have a Guardian at least up, some half shields. I don't know what Wake Forest is gonna actually run up with. This looks a bit messy. They still have one person just kind of chilling on 3K, so the Bulldogs have really gotten the heads of the Demon Deacons. Oh, again!
Just aimbot and opening duels, name a better duo at this point. It's not going to happen. And I don't like the staggered buy. I understand kind of playing ring around the rosy, of course, when you know aimbot's going to get aggressive anyway, and this might actually be a good opportunity. Nope, aimbot's just better. Oh my god, aimbot. Go ahead, have yourself a day on Reyna, sir. You definitely deserve to play this agent. Little bit of an overheat there, peeking out two on Rafters. It's going to allow them to go ahead and rotate. And we still, of course, have Penumbras just sitting over there on B, just kind of holding out, waiting for this. And I think the big difference that we've seen is there hasn't been a lurk opportunity yet. I'm basically going to call this round unless Jumper pulls the biggest that the biggest. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, so miracles aren't gonna happen today. And I think the difference that we're seeing right now is that double duelist setup allowed Bryant to really put pressure on both sites, right? And we're seeing a lot of just 5-man stacks right now for Wake Forest. And if they're able to split that up just a little bit more and maybe find some value and just be a little bit more patient and default it out, they might be able to find some success on offense. But right now, you're just letting Bryant stack up the economy.
Oh, that sidestep tap that aimbot is so good with. 23 kills. It continues to. It's almost like the Jeopardy winners that went on for what, 40-something days in a row. When are they going to be stopped? So far, not been having. You do have the Bladestorm that is popped, I believe, by Conrad. Is going to try and set up a hardcore defense. No, that is rather Eve. No, well, actually, you have two Jets. They're going to be facing each other down. But Conrad does bring it forward. Eve has the operator, and they're going to try and shut away 5 knives with one big bullet. Aimbot will reconvene with their duelist buddy, Amigo, with the 0-point knife, but this is a familiar corner, and Conrad knows that probably someone's sitting nearby, and the Empress is popped. Are they ready for this duel?
That is the question, as Eve is going to be able to find one already. That operator finding its mark. We're going to see if they're going to be able to get another one here. Here's a shock down to Fart and a nice little, of course, snake bite to be able to get a little chip damage down. Aimbot's going to be taken down. It's going to be massive right there as well. Here's the swing, the right click going to miss. Shot a field goal in between two of them. Unfortunately, not able to convert that. So Penumbras now able to find some stuff. The jumper right here, just trying to do what they can with the Sheriff, and it's a 4v3. You do have the Viper's Pit available, but do you burn it on an eco round where you only have a Sheriff? I don't think the answer to that is yes, Monkey Man.
I mean, I've seen people do crazier things, and I'll honestly push it. If they were able to get at least one kill, I could see them looking to invest to it, but Eve still has that power weapon, watching after the direct plant site. And then, I mean, you could try to escape, but you're also having your flank watch, and that is actually coming through as Shed is able to get rid of Tybots from their temple, and they find another one to be able to put this round away. This is Bryant operating in a high accord. You said that they were looking like even greater in their chemistry, that they're just being more decisive. Two separate halves, they've been on 5-round streaks that really made a difference. But the last time around that occurred, Wake Forest was able to wake up and tie it back up. They need to do the same thing here, and it has to be, again, off the shoulders of Conrad.
And again, Conrad just has to defeat aimbot. That's really the opening duel that's making all the difference in the world, right? But now we're going to see peeking from their nest on the defender side. Actually, are you going for the Asuna play? No, you're going to play on pipes. The Heat here has a great angle. Find yourself some value with that op. He has been so great with the Marshall and this one as well. Kind of shuts down that push immediately from B, man. You see everybody just kind of backing out just the slightest bit. On B, they're going to start aggressing. They see the wall is committed. I mean, honestly, at this point, with aimbot already known and seen on the flank, you might as well get this down, get the Viper's Pit committed, and just see what kind of value you can get before this wall drops again, because you know EVE is going to have operator shots down.
Oh yeah, you have to get away from it. You're going to be able to see EVE just from distance, and if they're not paired together, this is the only time you could. Waiting this long, it almost seems like they're kind of waiting it out to go over to A, simply because the sentry did identify that aimbot was at their flank. So maybe they've been able to just chill, just hang out. No fun. The null command does come through. The recon dart does identify where EVE is, and so they will hide in their corner. They know you're there, EVE. You've been there for what, the past 4 rounds? But Palmy is able to find aimbot. Tyvos is able to pick up seeds as they do get that revive. So maybe this was timeliness. They're just a little bit hard-headed. They want B.
Not only the spike isn't down yet, they weren't able to commit off of the null command, and so EVE is still back here with this operator, and Seeds gets taken down for a second time this round. Here this comes, of course, the wall back up, and are you going to be able to find any value out of it is my question. You still haven't gotten the spike down. You have 13 seconds left. You're staring down the barrel of an operator, and that wall's going to drop in about 5 seconds. There it is. The spot from the recon bolt as well. Not going to find anything, but the plant still hasn't gone down. They have delayed enough time, and this is actually going to be over just by time. There's 7 people saving this round.
Well,
I'll make it 6, but
okay. I don't know what comm call happened in the middle of that, but on the minimap you could watch Tyvos walking to go put a sentry down at flank point, heading to B with spike in hand, come all the way back, and then have no chance to actually put it down. I don't know what was happening, but it looked like confusion, and Bryant was just living in that moment going, what are these guys doing? Sure, continue to let us just util stagger you, and now they're on match point. It's gonna have to be 6 in a row if we want OT.
And here we go with the big 5 push once again. A lot of good util being used out. Oh, and aimbot actually, I don't know if that was accidental or not, but they know exactly where this has come from now. And Apalmi going to do a good job of giving me an opening frag there on aimbot. I don't know if that was an accidental lift or if they called for it, but the wall is there. It's going to make this a little bit more difficult to plant as they come knives blazing, just trying to get rid of this wall right now. Jumper's going to get over the top of it. The plant is going to be confirmed. The Viper's Pit is in use, but there's a counters Viper Pit that might be able to be used as well, and not a lot of people playing outside of this to really gain sight anywhere on the map, so this is going to be kind of a cluster as far as this retake.
You have EVE with blades in hand. They're moving a little bit quick, and that is going to be Shed, who is just beyond extremity. Go right into this corner. Oh my goodness, everyone just going to flick in their mouses as quickly as they can. DPI up to 5,000 as Jumper will be eliminated. Palmy sees the silhouette of red, and that is in their eyes as well as their body. Tyvos stays alive for all of a minute, but that minute is time up. It's going to be Bryant University who's able to get the defuse, able to turn this into a 13-6, doing just 1 lesser than map number 1, but hey, we're guaranteed map number 3.
We are guaranteed map number 3, and it's going to be the old college decider. Of course, it's going to be Haven that we're going to be going to next. Definitely excited to see that, but I mean, picking Icebox was kind of a surprise, right? Because we typically see Icebox as a decider map. Like, both teams are kind of like, don't really feel like playing it. Double Duelist 2011 comp comes out and is massively successful. You have Reyna on the rifle, you have Jet on the operator, you're still using the Viper. It feels like old Valorant all over again, and it worked out to perfection there. They just let aimbot cook, and it worked perfectly.
Old school, best school. Sometimes you just got to go back to school and hear that bell ring. But hey, guess what? You're going to be hearing it ring one more time. Map number 3 on its way. It's going to be Haven after a short break. Make sure to stay with us. Go get a snack, get some water, but be chilling with some more Valorant right after this.
their name is out there, right? Or that they're known, right? As we're growing the space, as we're putting this together, it almost feels really interesting that, your star entry, your star entry in Valorant, or your star forward on Rocket League, right? Whatever the case might be, now they can have NIL deals. It's a thing out there, and I think, I don't know, maybe Mike, you want to start off, but
yeah. I think Thank you for teeing that up. So I was talking for too long. I forgot to bring NIL into the mix. So it's a common occurrence, occupational hazard. So I would say that so NIL for I'm sure most of you watching understand what it is, but NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. Name, image, and likeness, that term has been utilized to describe the transition of traditional student athletes, NCAA athletes, and their ability to monetize their name, image, and likeness. It went live July 1st, 2021, and it has continued over the course of the last nearly 14 months now. It's an interesting term because it's been co-opted to describe the NCAA's approach to student athletes being able to make endorsement money or be able to monetize any part of their name, image, and likeness. But it's been around forever, right? We've had athletes endorsing brands for over 100 years. Babe Ruth of the New York Yankees was endorsing brands 100 years ago, and it has continued onward from baseball cards all the way through now, where we have lots of different integrations of how influencers can monetize their followings. So what I would say on the traditional side is it's still a very young space. There are a lot of stories out there regarding NIL that tend to focus on the negative or how out of control, I put in air quotes, it has gotten. But there is still a burgeoning marketplace for many more student athletes that are involved. About 17% of NCAA athletes are currently involved in NIL, but 65% more than that want to get involved and are curious how to get started. On the flip side, brands are challenged with a few different things in the space. There are 10,000 professional athletes in the United States. Once July 1st, 2021 hit, and you dump every NCAA athlete into that space, that's another 500,000. So brands that maybe didn't have a dedicated athlete strategy when there were 10,000 now have 500,000 plus that 10,000 to figure out how to activate who they are. That's a lot. I understand brands' hesitancy in some instances, but I can tell you that companies like us are on a daily basis educating brands and student athletes as to the software you can use, the types of activations you can get involved in, and how to utilize your followings, or if you don't have to or want to be a social media star, are there ways in which you can monetize it? Now, I know I described that under the umbrella of the NCAA, but I see it as being no different in esports. I think there are massive opportunities for people with followings to be able to use that and connect with brands. I think a company like us can help you to do that. And then beyond that, we can make sure that those transactions are safe for you. I think there are opportunities, not just at the individual competitor level, but at the program level to have a sponsorship go to that. I'm sure some of you out there listening and watching already have deals like that in place, but I think we can continue to enhance, augment those deals and make them more comprehensive and make them, first of all, I think product deals are perfectly fine, but I think we can get beyond that and grow some of these deals to a greater extent. Paulie, thoughts on that?
Yeah, what you said is right. So I'll put it in for layman's terms here for just the esports players, because I talk to so many of our athletes that compete in our CECC series that are currently still in college. And basically what when Mike Blewett says NIL, what he's referring to is just very simple. If a brand or any sort of anyone wants to use your school's name or your brand or anything with you, there is a deal for you that can be put in place, whether it's product deal, whether it's a paid endorsement. You can, whether you're a macro influencer or whether you're a micro influencer, you can be paid for your services. So most of the people, when I talk to them, most of the, I won't say people, college athletes, they are, intimidated by the word. They don't really know what it means. They've never done anything with it before. And that's what it means. Any single time a brand or anyone at all wants to use your name or do a deal with you or do some sort of activation with you or your school, that's basically what the layman's terms, the NIL meaning comes from. And it's evolving in this space. There are so many brands that want to associate with micro and macro influencers. and just get people involved with their products or their services. So all of you, collegiate athletes out there that are competing in esports, not only are we trying to broker those deals, but also keep your eyes, ears open, and don't be shy or scared to take these deals, because that's what I've heard the most, is that most of the time they're just scared to take them. They don't know what they are. They don't know if they're locking themselves into some agreement or terms that they're like going to give their name away or something too. So this is a really important space, and it's how you're all going to physically make money and build your brands along with company brands. So it's really important to learn, and my advice is to just get your feet wet. Don't worry about shying away. Read the contracts and take some of these deals, because growing your own brand is the future of what our industry is going to be, in my opinion.
Exactly. And if you follow in the pro space, you'll see that the pro teams are not only focused.
What's the best way to be able to start off a semester, you ask? Well, I'll tell you, mystery man, people, and persons. It is going to map number 3 of a best of 3 here on a Tuesday night on Esports U Valorant time. And of course, again, I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside the wonder that is Visionary 1. And our vision is set for the present. It was a past of dominance and then a recency of the same from the Bryant Bulldogs. We go over into our third map of the evening. It's going to be Haven. It's the time-old, true, tested classic of the 3-site. This is the, I guess, the puzzle. Its cousin is very much the same in Lotus that we're not going to get to see Visionary. So let's talk about all reliable. Are we going to see Arena again? I mean, we're not quite at agent picks, but do you think maybe?
I think you kind of have to let the man cook, right? I mean, it's just how it comes down. We're gonna let Aimbot continue to cook, because it looked like he honestly had a second program called Word.exe installed. And I just want to go ahead and give a shout out as well. I don't think there's a better way to start off, your semester than watching some beautiful Valorant like this. So if you're a person, a people, or a primer, go ahead and get yourself in here. Definitely love to see that. But yeah, I mean, we're going to Haven. Obviously, we get to see Ascent and Haven. They're the 2 tried and true college maps. No teams ever stray away from these. I've been begging to see Split, and you know what? Decider is going to continue to either be Haven or Icebox, most likely, just because, you know what? All the teams play this, so might as well play the maps that are going to get picked anyway. And especially at the start of a season, maybe you haven't had a lot of time to develop strats. You might have new team members coming on. You kind of want to run the tried and true versus going towards the other direction and trying something new.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? The best thing, though, that we're going to see is about how they create space. If there's anything that I've observed, especially from a very lateral, it's very much a 3-point map, is how the defense can be able to stop the offense from gaining that advantage, moving into sites, basically for free, because everything is a little bit thinner. So I am curious what we'll bring to the table. We're already floating a Neon, so that would definitely change the pace. Opposite of that, everyone has already definitely locked in and rocked in. Rock is going to be on the Sova. You got ETH back on their Jet. Aimbot is doing yet another turnaround. They've gone from Sentinel to Duelist to now Controller with Penumbras over onto that KO. So, okay, so they can basically rock the stock of the entire agent listing.
It's definitely nice having those flex players, right, that kind of can just play what's necessary. And I think everybody needs to have at least one member of their team that can do that and can kind of be that rock and be like, hey, take your comfort picks. We're going to switch it up. Seeing the other side of this as well with the Breach, the Neon, and of course the Brimstone, this is very, very reminiscent of, again, as much as I hate to beat a dead horse, this was basically the Optic comp that they used to run, except replace the Chamber with the Cypher, because obviously they're more valuable on this map now. So we're seeing Breach, of course, get brought back into Haven as a lot more as well. We're actually not seeing that, of course, out of Bryant. So that's interesting to me. Still opting for that KO, maybe to try to get a little bit more of that information. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult to open sites, though, and it does shut down some of your retake ability, of course, on defense. So we're going to be going into this, obviously. It's the decider map, right? We've had 2 dominations both ways. We've had a 13-5 on Ascent in favor of Wake Forest, a 13-6 in favor of Bryant, of course, on Icebox. It's going to be very interesting to see how this 3-site map kind of plays out, because I'm honestly clueless as to how this is going to work out.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going to be about the effectiveness, I think, of Jumper, because you're seeing that Jumper and Fade combo. That is an execution duo between those 2 agents, and that happens all the time. They can be able to kind of create an open space and be able to just kind of push the likes of Bryant back, but they also want to kind of be with each other, I think is also going to be based on a Palmy and what they can do with all those extended tripwires and be able to use that extra neural theft ping. So Conrad, again, getting ultra aggressive. They want to kind of force, maybe influence the likes of the Bulldogs to go over one way, and it looks like they're going to be able to have them go over to C, and they'll be running into a little bit of gadgets over here as the Cyber Cage is up.
Oh, not only gadgets, they run right into the Fade Haunts as well, allows it to get spotted. It's just a bloodbath right now. Eve has the potential. Now he has to reload. He's shooting in all directions right now. That is just chaos and mayhem. And Wake Forest is somehow to keep 3 alive, even though 2 of them were extremely low health, just running out of bullets, was Bryant.
See, in that moment, since it's a pistol round, I would have just gone to the knife and just start swinging like mad. Just roar into your mic, and see if they'll go at you with a, an honorable duel. But that ends up being a crash into C, and a Palmy right now is going to set this up as their little base camp, and no one is invited in. And this is just beautiful close quarters. They can be able to take down and hold down all of Garage by themselves, and all of mostly C. So you're going to see a lot of that influence and allow for this push up, especially into window. Tyvos, though, is quickly blinded, and that's going to have to be a trade out by Jumper.
That's a great trade, though, by Jumper to at least find one right there. Seeds is going to be holding down this Garage to support, of course, the player on C, but it's a 4v3 right now on that thrifty possibility, of course. So we're going to come through. A lot of spray coming through from Jumper, but Aimbot's going to be able to get the trade. It's now a 3v2, and you know that Cypher is set up on C site, and you know one is Garage, so you see the movement over towards A right now. They're going to be able to get deep positioning. They are going to be heard, so the rotate is going to come through because running through sewer is going to be heard from B site almost every single time, but you have the Killjoy available. You still have a Nano Swarm to go on the bomb, so there's some good post-plant utility available right now for BU to kind of get this and hold down to it, and you also have that Spectre in the hands of EU right now.
And you've got the Paranoia question mark. They are having one hanging out. No, Aimbot is just going to wait because they've got that Sheriff. That's going to be a clear, but they see the corner, so they're swing it. They got to swing it together. Oh, the back of the skull. Hey, that's vulnerable. Aimbot continues to find them easy. 1-1. My goodness. I know I shouldn't be hyped this early on, but every single time I see Aimbot just find a quick headshot, it's just light work for him.
It's just crispy aim. I don't know how else to put it. Aimbot's just on one right now, and he's heat checked himself a couple times into oblivion, but it's never really cost Bryant a round, right? And so when it comes down to that for the Bulldogs, if Aimbot's feeling himself, you got to let the chef keep cooking at this point, because this is just honestly kind of a difficult defensive comp to work with, right? Because Breach, if you don't have that information about where to fault line off the rip, if you don't have a good read on how Bryant's playing, the effectiveness goes down just a little bit. I do believe that they're going to have a read on what's happening right now, though, with everybody coming down main. Eve is able to find one. Keats is going to be able to find one with a ghost and get sprayed through the smoke just a little bit. A site has been taken now. Aimbot here holding that aggressive angle. Going to peek out on one. Going to find some more value with that Spectre. We finally get the spike. No, we don't get the spike down. No, we don't.
You have it now, and they're going to have that swarm grenade. Just waiting for footsteps, but that's actually a distance duel. There wasn't really much left in Tyvos, and that's going to be Rock that finishes off a Jumper. They tried to come in through CT and Garage, but just having Aimbot there in the first place and then unable to get rid of numbers afterwards on site, it was pretty much done. So a 2-round swing in the other direction for the Bulldogs, and this will be the Demon Deacons that have to start playing catch up and have to really start finding a way to repel this attack. And so far, we were talking about the change up of moving agents to different sites. They're going to be reading that this is continuously like a little fortress of solitude for a Palmy. When do they start kind of maybe rotating away with this? Do you start maybe seeing that move in the next couple of rounds?
They can't just have Cypher on C every single time. It's just kind of, it's writing yourself into a hole, right? They're going to know that that utility is there. I'm honestly very curious as to where that cage is actually going to pop and become a one-way, because he kind of threw it awkwardly in the corner, of course, of C site. And Seeds has a good read here, able to find one, escapes with 30 HP and their life. So it's a great opening pick for Seeds there in Garage as Aimbot looking to push up on this. I wouldn't be surprised to see a rotation back to A right now, just because you know that everybody right now for Wake Forest is broke. So it is vital that they stay alive. They are going to be playing in packs. They do not want to lose guns.
Be able able to win that distance duel. They will hold down that angle, and anyone else that tries to enter the go assist aimbot. But aimbot is on their own solo mission. They do put a dark cover down in window, and that's gonna be Tyvos. Is able to get rid of Penumbras, who does drop spike. They will recover, but Tyvos finds another one. Can they be able to find a third? Yes, they do. So all of mid under control, and that is aimbot left alone. Not a lot of HP to them. They have to be able to take this 1v5 swing one at a time, I say. But hey, they say nay. Flawless 2v2, or 2-2 rather. So Demon Deacons, they do recover, and aimbot, you know, after everyone died, eventually shows their mortality.
Yeah, and I mean, it happens in 1v5 scenarios, but that round was so pivotal for Wake Forest's economy, right? Everybody was down to $300 at the end of the last round. To come out with a flawless and not have a gun removed from your hands is so vital to just your kind of positioning as we go on. You kind of flip it on its head a bit here with, of course, Rock and Penumbras having a little bit more of course, economy than anybody else on their team, but it's not enough to be able to get a full buy for the next round. We're going to see Conrad here, going to get spotted, of course, by the 0 point. So hey, you can't, you know, go sprints like it's a Call of Duty game for 5 more seconds as they sit on the A site. They've gotten that idea that they're on A, and look how many people are already there. It's 3 people on A site, and I have a feeling like Bryant knows this because they're being extremely hesitant to push.
That's an interesting immediate rotation. They are buddy-buddy between that Breach and Brimstone. The Airbnb combo just immediately brought to your door. And that's going to be Conrad that eventually does find aimbot. So one of the biggest weapons, the largest in the entire Bulldog arsenal, is now taken off the map. You don't have that revive in your back pocket like you did before, and this fortress still set up by a Palmy is going to hang out here on C. Long C seems to be where it all is belonging to, and they do have time if they want to MacGyver and maneuver over to A. Oh, Palmy able to dodge anything, and they actually be at an advantageous angle to get 2 until they're rocked by Rock.
My man's was flashed and still got that kill, by the way. So it's a great job by Palmy getting that out. And we're looking at a 4v2 right now. This is going to be tough sledding ahead, of course, for Bryant, especially getting spotted out with that utility. And C's is just looking up like, yo, what just happened to my C's? As Jumper going to find one, Tyvos is going to find the other. And essentially, when you're one of the last 2 alive and you have to deal with a breach, you know you're getting bullied. That's all I can really say about it. They had 4 people there. You saw the aftershock, you saw a flash, and you saw a stun all committed at the same time at the same angle. This is a great job by Palmy. A, not getting spotted, B, getting flashed right there. Of course, that flash did go to backside, so it was a quick flash, but still being able to have the presence of mind to get your target locked on, take your time, find the headshot immediately, just exterminating 2 that are pushing out of sight.
They had that quick flash, but they also had the tripwire that gave like a momentary ping, that X-ray vision. So I wonder how much of that did kind of glean through all the blindness. I wish that's how it worked whenever I was, you know, 2400 vision. Hey, LASIK, it's a thing. It's great, but they're able to have that without corrective surgery. Palmy putting down some spray from distance. Spray down, doesn't attack much. Oh, Jumper, though, is in a quick duel here in the corner as they're being attacked by the Prowler, and Aimbot will be able to upgrade over to the Vandal as they take down Jumper, and still Penumbras will survive, and it's a 4v4 as Conrad at least finds Rock from the back end, and that actually puts a spike down.
Yeah, oh my gosh, this flank by Conrad. That spike being down as well, this is going to be very difficult for Eve. Can they get this? And there is the stun. Seeds going to find another one. The slide right into it. The ADS from 2 inches away. I don't know if you need it, but if you want to stun on him, you just, in fact, did it. It's a great job. And it looked for a minute there, right? Bryant starting to get that momentum. They take away the thrifty round. They win the anti-eco with the eco of their own. They win the round after that as well. And now they have dropped 3 straight, and you're sitting with Conrad having spirit fingers at the ready.
I know that Conrad had to check every angle as he slid in there, but it looks like he was purposely 360 clipping. Like, and then, you know, just kind of got stuck ADS. He's like, I must make this work. Well, rather than, you know, panicking, they continue to be a turret on feet. Shed is going to hold this corner as Conrad will just be a threat. Big trades happening across the map as mid and B becomes the battleground, and Aimbot is unable to win more of those aim battles. Eve has to escape off the tailwind, and they're dropping a lot of major numbers here for Bryant, and Shed is just double checking before Conrad ultimately feels like they are comfortable enough to start pushing far forward.
And that was just rude with the wall bangs in the middle. Eve, look at the counter strafe shot coming out as well, though, to try to even these numbers out just a little bit. It is 3-2 right now. They know Conrad's going to be coming from this angle. They have the Vandal in hand. They're looking to get this value out of it. Great swing on the Seeds, but unfortunately going to be taken out by Conrad. It's just going to make it difficult once again. Spike going slowly towards A right now. Going to be interesting to see if they do hear him, and he opts to go for long, so he won't be heard, I believe, until he gets the plant down. That's definitely heard. They're going to start rotating over to the A site, and Rock trying to isolate the 1v1s. This is extremely smart. Unfortunately, that neural theft's going to come out. You either have to push it or you have to sit back, and that is not the move, my man. That is dangerous positioning, especially with the second ping.
Expect that next one out from hell. Conrad does take a lot of chip damage, but you simply double swing, grab a buddy, make sure the system works, hug it out, put two wonderful guns down range, and be able to take down your opponent. So, Wake Forest, they'll be able to make swift work. I mean, just look at they're looking at the death cam. So, they looked a little bit more collected. The first couple, I was starting to panic. As soon as they broke that one into the 1-1 off the pistol, I was like, okay, has the likes of Bulldogs really just been able to take control since Icebox? But we've ramped the other direction considerably. It's 5-2. Few more. We'll see how they act within these first 10. We do have the ult economy kind of building for both sides. It seems the defense will be able to respond just fine.
It certainly does. It's a good, of course, recon bolt to get Conrad off of site, and they're just giving it up. They're going to play the retake here, but you look at the ultimates that they have. You have Fade, of course. You have the Breach, the Rolling Thunder available. You have just everything. You have Spirit Fingers available if you want to use them too. I mean, if you want to go full Jazz Hands here, you can do it. I think the issue that I've seen so far with Bryant is the fact that they're relying on their smokes to be that first push so often as the null command comes out and gets rid of all those ults, at least for a little bit.
And the active blinds they were getting with those leers, not there. They aren't running off the KO more than just the null command. You do have one up in heaven trying to be able to get a few extra fights down onto that connector, but you now have the wombo combo. Gotta love it. It is a nightmare, and you get to pop 10 feet into the air. They're going to be moving forward. The orbital strike bringing down one, but no, it's actually just a lot of quick fights. Aimbot is fighting them all. That's a 3K, and he's got the classic out, having used up every bullet in the chamber, and now they're just straight hard defusing. They're able to at least get half. Will it be killed by two? They do commit to it. Rock is able to find another one, and Shed with the Bulldog. It looked like the defense was going to be able to stop them in their tracks, especially with the Nightfall and the Rolling Thunder coming in, but they just couldn't be able to get them in time.
And you know, you talked about the wombo combo being so effective. There is no way that's possible if Aimbot doesn't find a way to get 3 there. Like that round was literally clutched by Aimbot just being able to hold down 3. And mind you, he was spawned by a Haunt as well. He was lit up purple on our screens. Y'all got to see that. And then he still proceeded to take 2 more down after he was spotted. So he was there, he was ready for the fight, and ended up working out in their favor, of course. And I think the biggest thing as well is that Odin spam might be doing some chip damage here. Doesn't find anything, but I like the idea coming out from Seeds, of course. But to continue the point, as that's a nice little trade, of course. Eve is taken down, but Shed's going to be able to get something out of it. Just to continue the kind of final part of my point, though, Monkey Man, you didn't have to burn the lockdown, so that's still in your back pocket right now for Bryant Bulldogs, and it's going to be a nice little thing to have if you're trying to push the site and clear some space.
It looks like they're going to do that from this cubby off of Sewers. Tyvos, I'm expecting it. They're going to put the molly down, so there's not going to be a lot of progression, even if they're doing so. You do have the From the Shadows as they actually navigate all the way to C, but that's Aimbot that's going to be that demon from the side. They never expect it, as Apollo was waiting. This is a full-fledged decoy play to move from A to C, and Aimbot continues to be that impact player that takes player after player down from the likes of Wake Forest. But now into this 3v2, you have a very hurt Sova that's playing way off site. They don't have much more than just the guns in their hands. They don't have the Hunter's Fury, but they've got Furious players in front of them, as you do have the Fade and Breach combo coming up.
Yeah, and you call it the wombo combo, but right now, without anything in front of them to hop on this defuse, as soon as that's tapped, it's going to be a problem. And they do find one of the nanostorms, so that's definitely important. A lot of swings coming out and a flash coming out as well. Nobody on the spike currently. There's another Nano Swarm to buy them some time. Great lineup right there, and they just decide to go ahead and save, knowing, hey, we're staring down the barrel of 3 people who are all playing long. We're probably not getting this defused. And just for good measure as well, right? We're going to go ahead and throw down the molly from KO just to be sure that we get the spike.
Some great staggering with those grenades and mollies and everything, and recognizing, I think, what is it? The Odin costs 4,200 credits, I believe.
3,200.
Right? So 3,200? Oh, I thought it was way more expensive. I was like, all right, yeah, make sure to keep that one. It is more expensive than a regular rifle, so you keep that in your hand. You get to maybe make more spam plays if you want to, but good recovery so far from the Bulldogs as our 10th round is coming up, and they looked ready to be able to take it. But this is another real rifle round. All you have is the overdrive from Conrad, and it looks like they want to get really aggressive with it. They press all the way forward, and you can guess, especially because Bulldogs have that Conrad wants to use that very early to try and shut them down first.
He's actually going to opt to get spotted by the knife as well. Maybe trying to cause just a little bit of distraction, thinking he could potentially be on B main, but aimbot has already lurked up the cubby, so they know for a fact he's not there. Shed's actually going to be found by Conrad there, and Penumbra's going to have the trade almost immediately off your screen. We're going to see more people in mid. Aimbot with that strong cubby presence going to be able to get out of this. One's going to be flashed as well, but aimbot's not able to clear him out. This is a great position from Tyvos right now, and we're going to see if he can capitalize. He's going to be quiet. He's going to wrap around, try to be able to find the kill right here onto aimbot. Can he do it? No, he cannot. Aimbot is going to find it, shut it down, and we have an instant rotation over to A. Plant's already going down. It's looking like potentially 2 are going to be coming from flank. No, one's going back into B, and look at how aggressive aimbot's being already in spawn.
Aimbot is on something right now, and I mean that from they are finding so many kills, but also bloodthirsty. They will be dropped. Sometimes you got to put a crazed animal down, and that's what's going to happen by Jumper, who we've not seen be as effective as they were on Ascent. Jumper's going to have a few quick jiggle peeks as they have at least one beyond that mid box. They have another one out in the sewer. Will they get any support from that opposite end? I think because they couldn't get a quick clear that they're going to just walk away, not try to deal with any of this. They will have some exit kills. They just won't be able to win the round. Apalmi will drop, and eventually this goes towards the Bulldogs. We're even at 5 inside the first 10, and I like the decision making. Can we get a kill? Can we enter? If we can do so, this is winnable, but we're not going to take on the 2v3. They eventually drop 1, but another big recovery. We streak back and forth 3 and 4 rounds apiece.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of disappointed right now because Conrad obviously popped off with jet knives on Ascent. We saw a bunch of great plays from him. I kind of want to see what he can do with an overdrive in his hands. And I understand that, you know, at higher ranks, it's a lot easier just to get one tapped and people are a lot better at tracking. So it makes sense not to kind of burn it. And sometimes it kind of feels useless, and they haven't had to do it for a full eco yet. Are you really going to eco on last round with it as well? It's just one of those questions for me where I kind of want to see what he can do, because we've seen the movement's been good. We've seen the aim has been good. And what can he get with that extra headshot damage that was applied about 4 or 5 patches ago?
They're having a 2v mini duel, but Seeds is actually able to find Eve. They can't quite get that recon dart to hit. It had a few extra bounces than 2. Oh, Conrad was just a quarter of a second response time behind, but because of that pressure, recognizing they've moved all the way up C, you have the entire remaining party move over to a long form on A. Gonna be coming up sewer 2. Aimbot's gonna put the ghosty spookiness just at connector as a swarm grenade. No, rather the fragment does go down, and there's a bit of blindness, but the cyber cage is popped, and that will delay them all of momentarily. They're able to get rid of aimbot. That's huge. Shed finds a Palmy as well.
And we have one moving up heaven right now. Of course, the retake with Breach fairly strong because you're able to go ahead and flash through that wall. That's so vital as somebody gets spotted there. Brimstone using that molly. Here comes the shock dart. You're going to be able to get the value with it. Rock's going to be able to find it. Rock and roll. Another shot once again. Penumbra's going to find 1. Not able to find it. 2 are on flank right now. It's a 1v2 for Rock. He's been marked. There's the Prowler. They're going to find the wall bang headshot, and it's going to be 6-5 in favor of Wake Forest. And these ebbs and flows are just what we're used to seeing on Haven. But I'm going to be completely honest with you, Monkey Man. I am very happy to see this going back and forth right now, just because of how the first 2 maps went.
Yeah, and what's kind of funny too, we haven't really seen any macro management for a timeout. We've seen like these teams accept this kind of this pendulum of momentum between them. We've seen squads or the teams take their favorite map, be able to operate off of just fine, and dominate in their execution. And then this one is that great, I guess, neutral zone. We talked about this always being that third map, the 3 site. Take 3 to 3, why not? Can they be able to find some level of difference here? In the final round of the first half, Conrad is dropped early. That's lead v lead. Aimbot will find them, and now B is at least a feature. They're in a default. Aimbot looks to get a little bit more aggressive, and they're going to try and get at least one more, but they haven't done so just yet until Penumbras finds Jumper, and now they have options.
They certainly do. The null command going to be dropped as well, but Seeds is going to be able to find this again. Knows that the teleport is coming behind him. That's a phenomenal play right there by Seeds, but the res coming through. The KO able to be picked back up and shot right back down. Seeds, are you kidding me? You have 4. Take your time to reload, son. You might have the play of a lifetime right here. Can you find Shed right now? Especially because of the sheer fact that they just dropped the neural theft as well. Shed's going to be able to find 1. Now, Seeds, you're on your ace potential. You can tank 2 bullets before you die. You're not going to be able to tank you're not going to be able to tank, of course, the turret, though, and this becomes a very awkward scenario of cat and mouse right now. The 2 sentinels appall me on a great flank, but I think that turret's actually going to block him off from even pushing in. Can Shed find the value on this? The shot's going to land for appall me, gets the wall bang headshot. It's a great job, and Wake Forest is going to take the half on defense, 7-5.
That was nearly the hero play that Seeds wanted it to be, knowing just 900 IQ that, what did they do last time? They went to the back corner, thought no one would see them, then Seeds just mowing them down so fast. Oh, it's Coupon Tuesday, and they just found a 3-for-1 deal, and quickly Bulldogs are reminded of the power diff that can exist not just with one but multiple players in different instances. 14-11 is Aimbot. 12-6, a much more even venture between everyone on the side of Wake Forest. So we go to flip halves. We go to attack Seeds off of the 4. They had, what, 8 before? So they gotta feel like, oh man, on top of the stack. Maybe that's, you know, not true, guys. Not a big deal. But they want to be effective here going through. And they're actually the one in this 1-4 difference. They alert with that 0-point knife. They kind of say, hey, all right, this is all of a decoy play, but they run over to C.
Yeah, and they're just going to fight it head on. They really don't care. Here's Conrad, the slide coming out, and we have the cloud burst. Going to buy a little bit of time, but Eve is going to be found, and it's just a burst onto C site right now, and it's going to be a retake scenario. 4v5, make it 4v4, make it 4v3, and Aimbot's only going to be able to get traded out right now. 3v3 scenario, almost everyone with full health, of course, minus Conrad, down just 1 bullet, and everybody's going to be able to come in. We're going to see a lot of that util be dropped, but Rank not going to be able to find anything at all. There's a double swing, but Shed is able to find 1. Penumbras going to find another, and there is the Cypher playing long. And what can you really do here other than mark a couple people? You're going to have to use your rifle. You don't really have a choice.
He's got more HP than they do for the time being, until they eventually get dropped. This is going to be some coverage as they're going for the half. They're able to at least get 1, but there is plenty of time because they got half for this one to be diffused. So it's going to be Bryant. They effectively retake site, and I like the idea. Hey, let's go for the play. Let's put 1-4. Let's put 1 that can be able to kind of lead that charge off of the 4 that all get tagged by the 0-point knife. But it was very well understood. They're like, wait, they wouldn't just give themselves away like that. Let's rotate over. They're trying to be too tricky.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Of course, in theory, just doesn't work out. I don't mind the rotations that come out like that. It's just unfortunate that, you know, they got called out on it. And it's a great job by Bryant of kind of adapting and realizing kind of the situation, especially on a pistol round, because you definitely want to fight with numbers. I think it's very vital for them to catch on early, and they were able to fight for that site. And of course, Aimbot getting more value. Although it does worry me a bit as we consistently see him taking on duel after duel. Realizing that you're losing your smokes during that, I think, is vital as well. So as much as I love seeing him on the gas and taking those entering fights, it kind of still scares me that he's always the one taking the openers, essentially.
Gonna be able to re-navigate. You have our second round here in the second half. We see a 7-7, and will they be able to break it? Eve, oh, they get caught up into the right click, and Tybox currently is the hero. Aimbot, though, has the Bulldog until they are a dog in the pin. Tybox looking to upgrade. The jump! That's the only way the jump works in this game. You have it with the shorty rock. Oh my gosh. Comes out of the window, comes out of the smoke. Might as well be an action flick. And they're able to just mow people down and reload and be able to do it again.
I wasn't aware we were watching an Expendables film right now. just gonna be honest with you. I feel right now like that shouldn't be legal in at least, 14 states. It's just, you just come flying out of the sky, and unfortunately the ammo runs out there. Conrad wasn't able to reload, and the shorty shot's just coming through, getting the one headshot that's vital to make sure that he's put down. And it's 7-7 first 2 rounds again. And I do want to state that this is the 3rd map in a row that the 2nd round of pistols has gone in favor of the US. We have the entrance already going on. Aimbot's able to find value out of that stinger almost immediately. They know he's here. He's going to be bullied by a ton of util and wallbangs, but he got his one with the stinger and did his job.
Got rid of Neon. Got rid of Conrad. But Numbers does the same to Jumper. Tyvos starting to come alive. Really starting to be that player that you could be able to move behind. They do have the spike. Oh, another one. No, Apollo will be dropped by Shed, who's staying basically in their own shed within that garage. Are they going to plan for backside? They have this one right in the middle of box, and you have this 2v2. Very hurt Killjoy hanging outside of garage, but they're actually going to take that long flank on C, and they have to watch very, very far crossfires from top and bottom. Are they exposing themselves to it? You have just a ghost, at least from that distance, and Rock start to creep up, especially as they got their attention. So Seeds finds Rock. It's just all of the power diff. How in the heck? What? Shed? Demon. Demon. It's spreading. There are demons over there.
Oh my god. Not only that, it's a wallbang headshot with a Spectre that puts him down. You are at a life disadvantage. Did they land 3 headshots? I need to see the damage numbers on this, because I am just wallbang headshot. They were only down like 40 HP, I believe. Like, it wasn't anything crazy, right? They had 27 shield and 40 health, and you somehow pull that out of nowhere. And 1, 2, I can't even tell you, but just accurate spray coming out, realizing the shoulder peak there, trying to use, the bigger wallbang potential of the Vandal to their potential, knowing that they were low, not able to land the shots. And we see BU come out again, and here's Aimbot taking opening duels, but you can't do that against 4 people in a row, man. No smokes again right now for Bryant. I wonder if that's going to be an issue.
Very well could. We do have a quick wallbang as well. I'm starting to learn that this entire map is just hollow. 4-1. Bryant defensive and fortress driven. Apollo is able to at least get 1. They have to be able to get 2 more, but they can't, even with that stinger that apparently was pumped up and has some nice kicks to it. But 7-9, look at this, 4-row inside of this. And what do we see? This will be another real rifle round, I believe. Yeah, the eco is at least there, so we'll be able to see that challenge. But Bulldogs starting to be in a great position of power, and the operator for EVE, remember you were talking about that they haven't been able to kind of get into it much? We've got an opportunity right now.
And you're doing it on the most vital part as well, right? You're on defense with Jet. You don't have to worry about opening up a site. You can just go ahead, peek those long angles, have some fun with it, prime that tailwind, and just get out. And with EVE having so much value, of course, on that Jet, on Icebox, because of those long angles, this is something that's definitely going to be advantageous if they do end up peeking, obviously. Fault line going to push them back just a little bit, not willing to peek this all the way out, as 2 are actually going to go towards short here, of course, off of that Cypher's cage. So good job just kind of taking the space that's given to you. This is going to be terrifying right now, knowing that KJ is set up on the site. If they hear this util, they're going to be vastly prepared for what's going to be happening.
You do have Conrad and Aimbot just kind of chilling in distance over along C, and this might be a commit to push up in through sewer. They leave the Killjoy alone on A, and I believe the numbers advantage will start to become a little bit more obvious. They put a staggered dark cover, but the Nightfall comes through, and then that's going to be a very dead Shed. So none of those gadgets even matter. They're going to be able to get that plan down. The retake will have to be real, but they do have the null command to try and make it work and to re-navigate and situate the battlefield off of that from the shadows, and it looks like that is going to be happening at the same time. So here we go, the Molly, but they have an orbital strike in their back pocket to try and keep, anyone from trying to get it, but EVE with a quick body shot, and now it's all the orbital strike. Can he get massive value?
They're going to have to wait for the 2 seconds, so this should at least be half. Note, they got that out beforehand, so the incendiary going to be able to delay enough. There is, of course, an orbital strike coming out. EVE going to be taken down as well. That's absolutely massive. The stim beacon, they're trying to run it down. They should be able to get on this, and they should have enough time. It's a good flash, but Penumbra's going to be able to take care of it. It's going to be close, but it's going to be taken down once again by Bryant. They're going to get to double digits first in the race to this, and they are now 3 away from the win. They are starting to separate themselves falls out bit by bit here on defense on Haven.
Aimbot at 22 and 15. It hasn't been easy and as clean as before, but it's still been just as effective. And that's gotta hurt you. That's one of those moments you would think, okay, let's take a breath. We gotta chill. We gotta time out. I would have done a little bit earlier, but that's just not happening right now. This is a team that continues to just grind it out, try and not allow the momentum for the Bulldogs to jump from it. So, will we have full weaponry? We're going to have an overdrive. Haven't seen that out of Conrad yet, so let's see how Spirit Fingers does hit. They're going to go for the stun. They're going to be able to chase him straight out of the window. They barely are able to get the quick shot onto Rock. They're looking to clear out this smoke, and there's a bit of chip damage that is in fact done. They're able to swing back onto Conrad, and they have Spirit Fingers back in hand. Palpatine, power, infinite power, and they're looking to get rid of Aimbot. That is a 3K as well. We go back into Sight. Sight is in control. Hey, you know what? You press up, you get the neon running, and everyone else can too.
I mean, it's a great job and a great way to get Conrad going, right? Let's just be aggressive. Let's go ahead and open up a site. Go ahead and use that overdrive. See if you can find some value from it. And they were able to, as it's going to get smoked out. Conrad might get caught, but Shed gets caught with the knife out, switching over to the gun. And now it's the rundown. The ace potential, knowing that there's an operator there. The tailwind, trying to get it. And it's an ace for Conrad with the Spirit Fingers, Emperor Palpatine. And only Sus dealing absolutes, but he absolutely wiped the floor with BU that round.
Sometimes you just gotta put them down, and you have the electric touch to make it happen. Not the cheese touch, that's the bad touch. This is the good one that gives the Demon Deacons a spark of life. So they do it behind Conrad like many they've done before. 19 and 11 looking pretty good, and they're trying to catch up to Aimbot and the gang. But look at that ult economy diff. You're gonna have the neural theft, but that's gonna take a Palmy to find a dead body. The rest of it, well, it's pretty much open and good. You got the lockdown for maybe retake or repelling. You've got the Blade Storm if they really wanna, and of course, be able to clear default off of that Hunter's Fury. Aimbot chilling. He's put hands up. He's like, all right, hold on. Let me just get aggressive. You've got an operator? Cool. I'm gonna die. I like the idea if they weren't covered, because, you know, it just shoots a little bit faster than an operator.
Yeah, it does. It does. Not from that Penumbras? Hello? Just call him Mr. Juan Tap, because that was absolutely filthy. Not going to run into the tripwire here, so that's actually great for Eve. Not going to be spotted. Obviously, Jumper's going to be covering that flank as hard as possible. They're going to know where he is now, but Palmy, where are you looking? There's two given up, but the operator's right here, and Jumper's going to be able to find it. The team ace comes out, and something interesting to note as well. Wake Forest is starting to build up that economy brick by brick right now. It's like they're coming up to that house trying to build it, and it's been working out in their favor so far. You can see that everybody except for Tyvos will most likely have a no, because Jumper can buy Tyvos, so everybody should theoretically have a buy next round as well. Whereas you see the economy right now for Bryant Bulldogs not looking so hot. Almost everybody on that final buy, and the Blade Storm is going to get committed this round.
Yeah, ETH has been able to hit some of their shots, but they're 8 and 18, so they get prioritized on being dropped, and they in fact have a shorty. So they're gonna wait at least for first touch to see if anyone starts running up and seeing if they not just check their corners, but their ceilings too. And this looks to be a separation of one and some. You do have Conrad out in mid if anyone were to get aggressive out in garage, but this is a test of who's chilling from in sewers. Eve recognizes quick shots, so they ask for the dark cover, and so now that one's gonna be delayed, but this seems to be a collective moving around A, and so is the rest of the gang.
Yeah, everybody's going to be falling off of this just a little bit. I was actually surprised to see Cypher Palmy down here alone with the spike in sewer, because that would have been a very rough engagement if you have to go against an elevated jet with the Blade Storm. Luckily able to get the shoulder peek to try to get it. And I mean, obviously the positioning here isn't super strong, as the paranoia is going to come through, but they're going to be able to shoot through it. Eve gets taken down and Palmy gets one as well. Conrad going to find aimbot, and now the Hunter's Fury to delay. They're going all or nothing right now, trying to find this value with this, not able to shut down the plant. That's essentially a burnt ult as well, and now you're in a 5v2. This is going to be tough sledding ahead, and they're going to see the dart come out as well, and Conrad just about to push like a mad lad.
Conrad, both the stuns go into the same spot, so they don't actually stun close. They just stun, well, that box, so unfortunate for them, but both will run away. This is a save. They recognize that their economy is just burned, so both Shed and Rock are going to hang on to the two Vandals they got. Everyone else, well, they could go hunting, but they're not going to do that too much, at least with Jumper holding on to that operator. I don't remember Jumper getting the operator. When did that change hands? Hold on. When did that happen?
That actually happened whenever EF was dropped.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, when F was dropped. Because remember they pushed long, they were able to get him on flank, and they ran out with it after they got the pick on the one who was playing for exit frags. So that's when that changed hands.
Okay, all right.
It seems like forever. It feels like forever ago, right? But after 5 straight rounds right now for the Bulldogs, Wake Forest has come back and put 3 of their own on the board, and it's another eco round right now for Bryant. This is going to be very difficult, but KJ playing for the first time on this C site. We're going to see if they can get some value out of their utility at least, but it doesn't like they're putting everything down right now.
If they don't get this, because ultimately the next one's going to be a bye, if they cannot get that next one to work, 12 is going to be basically shelved. Line them up, knock them down. ETH is able to get everyone clowned. They're going to retreat after getting a 2K 50 HP in their pocket. Aimbot, oh, you can't predict where he's going to go. He came straight up mid. This is ruinous. They're all around them. Aimbot trying to be able to take on the rest of the squad. See the shoulder, and now they're getting a weapon upgrade. They nearly got to reload to take on a Palmy, who's going to get got right in the middle of it. Thrifty round for the Bulldogs. That made great work out of their eco.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the ebbs and flows, the back and forth. Like, obviously you can't allow ETH just to creep up and be able to get 2 there, and just able to line up. And really, you didn't check your corner there, right? There's no smoke, there's nothing in the way. You have to check that. You can't just walk blind. They both walk out and just line up directly in front of each other and give ETH the 2 easiest kills he's had all game, to be completely honest with you. And at this level and at these stakes, you know, you're trying to set the tone for your entire season, Monkey Man. Those are just those small mistakes that can really break you down during situations like these.
New division, new year, new sense of urgency into this competition. Are they going to be running it down? You got the orbital strike still in the back pocket. They were able to build back up to that. But now you have the fault line that does shock to at least separate. ETH, they're waiting. Oh, turn around, wrong way. Basically execute yourself on their own gun. And maybe finding another 3K. ETH, you brutal bully. They look to escape. The damage is done. Penumbras finds Ziff, and they're able to get to match point, series point for this first week here at Esports U.
I'm just confused right now. Did like ETH just get like spirit bomb energy and he started just popping off right now? That's 5 kills in 2 rounds. That is a ton of damage done here. And look, I mean, he even before this happened, he got checked on the corner and it just wasn't checked fully. It was just a quick flick, and the realization of the fade coming through wasn't able to even get a shot off before ETH had popped them in the head. So it's just so difficult. You can't keep letting them get away with it. And my God, way to flip this on its head. You get a thrifty, you get instant retribution, and you still don't call a timeout.
You know, with the way this series has been going, I expect OT, but I also expect this one to maybe even be more effective as they run it in with the Rolling Thunder. A little bit of blindness as they do at least have the fast lane stand up. Conrad and Palmy take them down. Oh, it's like a candy cane, and they're lighting up the kill feed with their bodies and their deaths. The plant does go through. 3v2. You do have the lockdown, and guess what? That's getting used. The Swarm, they're trying for the lineup and get rid of anyone that's hanging out in long, and you do have them hanging out in sewers, long, and even further back to trying to escape this giant dome of death.
I would have liked to see them push up just a second earlier to be able to go ahead and try to get this half, but I mean, aimbot go kill is a valid strategy as well, as Short is going to be smoked out here. It's going to be combined with a nano swarm to keep them off of this site. Are you going to be able to push this in time of my question? There's the alarm bot. There's the shot from aimbot once again, trying to get it to half at least. The flash comes out. They weren't able to get it half though. One gets taken down. You might not have enough time. Jumper, can you clutch this? They get back on it, but it's not half, and aimbot is going to drop to the spike, and just an unfortunate mistake because Monkey Man, it was milliseconds away from being half, and unfortunately just lets it go a moment too soon.
Milliseconds, micrometers. You could try to pinch it, it would squeak, and it would have been just there. Ow, my goodness. With all the things that aimbot has done so amazingly right, they could have been able to just hold it and then trust the second half over to their teammate. But what it could have, should have, literally just seconds in the past. We have to move over to round 24. This is the one that Wake Forest needs. To force OT to have us go the distance. A 30 bomb was acquired by aimbot. Can they be able to be the big bomb that shuts down the Demon Deacons? It is all B. The Nightfall come forth.
And that is great delay right there, of course, with the fragment as well. And here's the Spirit Fingers. Emperor Palpatine has arrived, looking to get some value out of this. Slides through the wall, gonna be found by Penumbras. Penumbras gets 2. He was stunned. Are you kidding me right now? The plant does go down, but it is a 4v3 retake. And right now, okay, make it 3v3, but this is the hardest site to hold because you can get hit from so many different angles. And Penumbras is gonna continue to find more. He's on 4. Is he gonna be able to get the ace? And I do have to say, you have to push out to window right now because you do know for a fact that they have the orbital strike, but the null command gonna shut it down for at least another couple beats, and there's 8 seconds of it gone. Rox is gonna find it. That is going to be the round, and we're going to see the Bryant Bulldogs last 2 games and be able to take the first series of the season.
Wow. That was a performance and a half. After getting absolutely obliterated on Ascent, they take Icebox, and then this was a sweat fest, Visionary. Holy cow. It was, I can't, look, soft applause because I don't want to break my mic, but both these teams brought their best to showcase to start off this spring semester. I loved Aimbot being able to galvanize their squad, really lead from the front. I got to look over into the stats. I just want to be able to see who had what. You had such a share of all the First Bloods over to both Conrad as well as Tyvos, but then still Aimbot at the top, 30 and 20, nearly pulling off the triple-double with 9 assists, still doing fat work over there. Tyvos doing the same thing as they did get the triple-double at 19, 19, and 14. Both teams brought their very, very best in that last round, showcasing that they definitely have practiced it. They've been doing their studies, but sometimes it's just about who's able to take those final duels. It doesn't matter about that one mental error before. They took it at the very end.
And I mean, without the timeout, without anything to kind of talk about it either, right? They were just able to kind of cohesivize, galvanize themselves and be able to come through knowing that they messed up and just instantly just be like, hey, that round's behind us. We have the chance to win right now. Let's go ahead and do it. And it was really, of course, on the back of Penumbras, who just did phenomenal work right there, getting a 4K in that final round, and also stunning out with the 0 point and the ultimate, making sure that the orbital strike can't go off, because if that did, I'm almost positive that would have been enough of a delay to get the spike to go off.
Oh my goodness. Seeing the likes of when they brought the overcharge through and Conrad just didn't see Penumbras in that corner. Oh, just too much of the fast lane. And it was enough hiding by Penumbras to be super effective in that final round. But guess what? We're going to be taking a short break, seeing if we can get an interview for you guys just before we close it all for the night. So be back in just a moment right after this.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's gonna jumped into it. Corner judges good for 1, 2, dip. He needs more. They're doing even more here.
You gotta touch the point. Mr. College walks it in.
Toy Boy is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out in front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the ECAC Top Plays of the Week. I am Septilence, and I'm super excited to walk through these with you so you can see all of the great moments we are getting out of collegiate esports. One of my favorite things about these seasons is as they go on, as the years continue to pass, the skill ceiling just gets higher and higher, and the teams get better and better. Starting things off in Week 1 and 2, these teams came out the gate swinging. Let's take a look at what they were ready to bring out in these early weeks. Valorant is a game all about risk versus reward, and Sin from NYIT wanted to show us just how much he was willing to risk to get that great reward of a round win.
Sort of forced to pop off, maybe get a little bit more sniper play, but these direct tight angles make it tough. You have Axorus that actually gets a wallbang headshot onto Prime. Oh, that timing on the paranoia works so well.
Yo, give it up for the util, bro. Sin's gonna pick up 3 into the site. So lurk on its way from the chamber, but unless you're going to spam through this box, you're not getting anything done, and Panda won't even let him get that far.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a game that can be decided in milliseconds, and Waka, one of the best players from SUNY Canton A Squad, wanted to show us just what they can do with only a second and a single stock on the board.
Cena, sledge option going to be charging forward smash, going a little early. They're not quite getting what you want. Drop shield after first hit and pin, getting hit by the kick. High percent. There is the stun into Claw. That Claw could have been charged for a lot longer. Oh my goodness, that's a forwarder into stage with the stage spike and then upping immediately after. What a sick.
1 point in Rocket League can never make a team feel comfortable, but Driftsy wanted to show us that not only was he going to pick the pace up, but he wasn't going to let his team down.
Defensive test with flying colors, though they couldn't get out, and that is the important part at the moment. Clears a must for UA, and it's just not in the cards at the moment.
Dripsy! Dripsy connects off the backboard! What a shot! I watched it unfold slowly. You stopped speaking at just the right moment.
Valorant is often called a team-based shooter, but sometimes it can't just be about the team. Sometimes you gotta have those hero plays. Spec wanted to spray and pray and was actually able to save the day for SVSU, tying up the series 7-7.
Hard B push here. 2 Omen smokes coming out. 1. Oh, Spec just finds 3. What? Spraying through the smoke? Oh, what, Spec? That's not legal, man. That's not legal. This is match day 2 of the ECAC League. You can't be doing that right now. Spec just goes with the call.
Here in this clip, Fanshawe finds themselves with their backs against the wall, 20 seconds left on the clock, and they're desperate to take down Wake Forest. They don't have anything to get through this team, they don't have any weapons on the field, but with Jackie Moon in the wings, at least they had a sniper.
Apparently. He's going to believe all the shots. Oh, a sniper! Jackie Moon from about midway through. What a shot right here from Jackie.
Wow, good eye sniper. Yes, sir. Jackie Moon puts us on the right side. A little bit more to the left. This one would have been...
Here in this clip, we're going to get a great moment from a Pac-Man, and as a Pac-Man player, I was super excited to see it. We're going to hear a lot of praise from our commentators giving Mosey those compliments of choosing Snake against Pac-Man, a great counter pick. They were super excited to see a Snake on the field, but even without their blessing, Trollery does not yield.
Approach, but like you said, he's trying to play this safe because losing a stock right now for Concord would be really bad. And, well, a little bit of commentator's curse there. We kind of willed that one into existence. Oh, man. Oh my goodness! What?
Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, Septilence, how could that be all we got from weeks number 1 and 2? Please tell me there's more. If you like what you saw, you've got to go check out ECAC Esports on all social media platforms. Please see what they're bringing to the table. It is great collegiate esports week after week. And on the bright side, folks, this is just the beginning. We've got the whole rest of what is guaranteed to be a great season ahead of us. Thank you so much for joining me for this recap, and I'll see you on the next one. Hello everybody and welcome back to ECAC Plays of the Week, and it's not just any week this time, it is the playoffs. We've got 8 incredible clips and I'm super excited to jump into them. My name's Septilence, I hope you're ready to hop into the ride.
Welcome back one more time, Esports U Nation, as we're getting ready for a fun and festivitous interview with one of our winners. It's Penumbras from Bryant Bulldogs. Congratulations, Penumbras. I learned not only that your name means to cast a shadow and miss apocalypse, or not apocalypse, but an eclipse, but it was almost apocalyptic as you brought down the thunder, got to be the hero of that last round. Tell me about it. How did you guys feel? It was so close at the very end.
Well, thank you for having me for the interview. We felt quite confident going to Haven. We love that map in both of our scrims and previous seasons with all of our players. And after seeing the Neon comp, we knew we had to kind of adapt a little bit. We hadn't played a Neon up until this point. It had always been like the Fade Raise combo. That's quite common. And so this Neon, we knew that there'd be fast flanks. We had tried to put our cages up, and overall, I think we did a good job on the defensive side more so than on the attack side of dealing with the Neon.
Well, it's obviously easier to deal with Neon kind of on the defense side as well, just because, you know, they're pushing into either multiples or that utility that you have open. So definitely makes sense. They kind of ran that optic comp that we saw, you know, in Valorant last year, obviously minus the chamber, and added a cipher to it just, you know, for funsies. But as far as everything else goes with you guys, obviously Ascent was kind of a bloodbath. Y'all weren't really feeling comfortable there. Is there a reason y'all picked Icebox? Because y'all looked supremely confident, and especially on the defensive end on that map.
So the reason we picked Icebox is we just have a kind of good chemistry. We understand the map more, even though it has been played as much. All of us, it's like one of our top favorite maps within just ranked play and whatnot. So regardless, we're going to feel comfortable on it, and I think that just sets us up well for any kind of decider map.
Hey, you know what? That if it's your comfort pick, we get to see the Reyna off of aimbot and him feeling comfortable out there, just absolutely murdering folks. I need to know, before we let you get to a few extra shoutouts, will maybe we see the team get comfortable when it comes to some of the new maps, especially maybe a little bit more extra Pearl or even Lotus? Are you guys starting to look at those maps with some level of practice?
We've absolutely looked at Pearl, and we've had some success with it. Not to the moment being an absolute must pick right now, and because of how recent Lotus has looked, I would love to see some kind of pro play matches to adapt any of their strategies, philosophies on the map before we put that into play.
Hey, and that makes total sense to me. I'm just one of those guys that kind of run straight into it with a forehead first. So job well done tonight. 2-1, able to make the comeback. Any big shout outs for your fam, your friends, even just the guys over there that have been able to make it all work tonight?
Well, thank you very much. I'd love to shout out like my family. They're very, very supportive of me throughout all of like my college career, and also the rest of the e-board, like the treasurer and vice president, for able to facilitate everything that we do over at Bryant Esports.
Hey, you know what? It takes a village, it takes an awesome fam, and it takes you guys being able to support each other. Congratulations! You win the first match here of the spring semester, and we wish you good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Well, Visionary, you know, I first, when I thought that map was going crazy, I thought this would be a 2-0, but this ended up being an amazing matchup, and it was the first one that we got to see to start the semester. I hope the rest of the season is just like this, but I don't know if my heart can take it with how much action we just saw.
Yeah, you know, when we have 24-year-olds in production calling themselves old, apparently our hearts are about ready to shut down. So I'm right there with you, to be completely honest. At the end of the day, though, I really liked today just because we got to see a ton of different compositions, right? We got to see, you know, the mirror match on the first map on Ascent. Then we got to see, you know, the Sage come out on Icebox versus no Sage for the other team. We got to see a Cypher and a Neon on Haven. So a lot of variations in comp. And I think with the new meta, with Chamber kind of being shut down a little bit, we're going to continue to see these flourishes as well. And that's the thing I'm most excited about this season, on top of the new maps, is just kind of the turning face of a new meta and seeing how people can utilize these agents in different ways now that Chamber isn't as dominant as he was previously.
You know what? You get rid of the old, make way for the new, but also bring a sprinkling of that old school in to make sure everyone still remembers how to play it. But for right now, this is it for the evening. We appreciate you guys being able to hang out with us. Also, fantastic observing and as well as production with Coltoon, Cool Scoots being able to hang out with us. And again, congratulations to the Bulldogs, able to defeat the Demon Deacons tonight 2-1. We're going to have some Rocket League and Overwatch action tomorrow and later this week, so make sure that you stick around on this channel when you can be able to find in those later evenings. But for right now, I'm Hail Monkey Man. That is Visionary 1. You're pretty darn awesome. We'll see you next time.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big.
That's so cute. UCF, and it's really cute. I'm gonna move down here. How do we feel? The odds for UCF? What are we thinking?
They got it. No, we got this. We got it. We got it. Go Knights. Charge on.
100%. My friend Nick is behind you. He's gonna record it. Don't look at him. You'll ruin the shot. Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Come on. Oh, let's go!
My smile's probably really creepy. I was just being weird. Oh, I love being in the shadows, though. Big shout out to the shadows. We could interview Dilly just because I think he's handsome. You weren't supposed to hear.
Here's the thing about the event. I'm the greatest that's ever lived.
Literally true. I know him.
I think everyone knows that. I think everyone's aware of that.
Hey, do you have a VIP access badge on?
I actually have an all access.
Oh, an all access. I thought it said VIP access.
And that's only available for the best.
That's true. He's right. That's a main stage TO right there.
If this goes live, I'm suing everybody.
It's all right. A video of me, the first clip is me saying, don't put that in. And then it was the first, cut the cameras. Oh, you're recording already? Great. So this is this is Bay State versus UCF. I believe something that we saw yesterday on day one of the tournament, but instead we're going to have that run back here. I think they're fighting for a spot in Grand Finals. Anarchy, one of the best Greninja players in the United States, currently struggling against a Terry. Terry notorious for that DLC privilege, being a very strong character with some very strong abilities. Greninja, not so much, considered one of the weaker characters in the game. A Falco player, one of the best in the United States, and he just got spiked by a Terry. Same Terry that took out Anarchy literally minutes ago. UCF still up by 2 stocks. This guy is looking to rip this team apart single-handedly. That is, I mean, nuts, to say the very least. Absolutely absurd. That was a disgusting spike. I cannot believe that happened. Will you hold the microphone so I can sign this? Sorry.
For context, he's got a fan. He's actually signing something. He's so excited.
What was it like to not hear my voice for 2 minutes? For 30 seconds, maybe. What was it like? Probably bliss. I was signing a mouse pad, which is really cool. I've never done that before. Nobody's ever asked me for a signature, so I'm going to start blushing, but I'm really excited about that. And then he wants a picture. Can you take a picture of us? I said, is it bad? She went, no. I'm going to go ahead and take that as a yes.
Turns out I can't tie a tie sitting down.
What do you think is the appropriate face-to-screen ratio for a Valorant player?
Face to screen, like how close I sit?
Yeah, like how close should a player sit?
Personally, I play really, really close. I think it depends on your eyesight, but for me, I like playing close because it helps me focus on my crosshair.
Is the value of sitting close, the crosshair being the only thing in your line of sight?
Yeah, that's pretty much the main benefit of it.
It's so funny how close some of these guys sit. Oh my goodness. What do you think is the healthy face-to-screen distance for a Valorant player?
I think it's all kind of personal preference. I guess I would consider myself like pretty close when I play because I like to zone in on my crosshair.
It is the second person to say that. It's all about the crosshair. And then what's up with the horizontal keyboard?
I don't know, like it just kind of fits like the form when I'm close to monitor. Like I don't know, it might sound cringy, but I like to like be one with my gun, you know?
No, bro, I feel it absolutely. What is going on, everybody? I am here with some UCF fans. How are we feeling about UCF? Let's go! Let's go! We've got a bunch of UCF fans in the crowd right now. UCF, they're up by a single game. They're looking to find their third and possibly final, secure a spot moving forward. Things looking great for them against Northwood here today. This guy's playing Minecraft right now. He keeps double building instead of placing the dirt. Pressure's on, man. Everybody's watching. Just kidding. Just me. Cameraman's not over here. Just kidding. He's behind you. There's actually always cameras on you if I'm around. Do you double build all of those? No excuses, bro. Your college esports Minecraft team absolutely rolled. L after L here. Let's hope UCF has a little better luck on stage, huh? What is going on, everybody? I am Septilence. I have the honor of welcoming you to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup here in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, that was good. That was good. Good content, good content.
Is that we don't have these preconceived notions, and we're willing to listen to our membership and read the room, read college athletics and how it's connected and how it's not, and take what we have expertise in championships, but also throw out some of the other stuff